Welcome back in. A couple hours left on a Monday afternoon. That's turning into a bit of a chop fest here. We are dealing with a ton of opportunities if you're looking at individual names. Overall, the market, though, kind of flat. Here's how things are shaping up right now. 0.07 for the S&P. Negative, meanwhile, 0.18 there for the Dow. About 0.25% for the NASDAQ. Still holding on to gains. Same story for crude oil. Still holding on to gains. We were discussing, if you're with us early on this morning, 2.8% there for crude, coming off of a very, very negative week last week. Trying to get back to the upside. 6% meanwhile now for Bitcoin. Ethereum down 7 and change, coming off those Binance headlines from not only late on Sunday, but throughout the early hours of the morning this morning as well. 0.08 there for the S&P 500. A ton of individual movers, obviously, standing out. We are positive, you can see, but individual names here. Tyson Foods, TSN down on earnings, 15.8%. CTLT, they cut their full year forecast, I saw this morning, down 25% in the healthcare group there. VTRS trying to help to the upside, offsetting that, but not really coming up. The healthcare group negative as a result. Moderna down 3.25%. Tech, Biogen there down 1.7 as well. Financials are green on the day. PayPal ahead of earnings, having a pretty good day. 1.6% for PayPal to the upside. AMD's up 5.6%. Speaking of good days, coming off earnings last week, obviously decent days so far for semiconductors specifically. Software names kind of weak. FTNT now back to the upside today, but there is some weakness offsetting that. The rest of the hardware names also in positive territory. Consumer discretionary, communication services, material, and energy stocks, if I hadn't mentioned that. Crude up 2.8%. Energy basically all green. Oxy has gone red, though, on the session notably. But overall, kind of a choppy day here. 0.07 again ahead of some pretty important inflation data still to come this week. Again, on Wednesday, we'll get that CPI print for April. And then following that immediately is going to be PPI the very next morning. The producer price index, typically not as closely watched. But CPI, the big one this week after we get not only the Fed decision last week, but non-farm payrolls comes in much, much higher than expected on Friday. But the market rallies anyways into the weekend. Let's get right into a few things we were discussing to kick off the morning. One of those was not only PACW, but regional banks in general, higher across the board coming off of a pretty negative week last week. But PACW on Sunday, late on Sunday, came out and cut their dividend by almost 100%. They left 2% available, but it was all about some of these. PACW down here, Zion, CMA, WAL, all in focus this morning after a huge down week last week on FRC headlines.
So we're actually just talking to one of the new traders in the new group behind us, who actually, I'm going to put Parsa on blast here, but got us these hats. SVB. Risk management. I feel like that's too soon. Like risk management department for SVB.
Well, we saw what Prad did to Lehman Brothers.
And now we get to do it to SVB.
Archegos there as well. So I'm just going to set my layout didn't load exactly properly back
that's
here.
That's okay. We can talk regional banks.
Yeah,
it won't
Apple's tanking. So
this won't be a long discussion on regional banks.
All right.
I made one trade off the 7 level. It bounced once. It then broke 7. Now it's at $6. So I had a 7 into 720. Come to my chart here. We like the we like the 7 level. It came back into that price, went for the long, got out of it, and then it's been quadunking to the downside ever since. Still up 5% because of the large gap up, and I think there might be something here. This closed at 575.
Told you, probably.
Closed at 575. Holds 575. Now head to the upside. So I guess you got yourself a little bit of a stop zone here. As we have a nice move there. Oh my goodness, I have to go over to Alphabet because I was waiting for a 106 fail there. That's starting to go, so I want to see if I can grab that. I was trying to catch NVIDIA back at that 290, but did miss it. Sorry, Amazon, I didn't mean, not Google. Amazon at that 106, back beneath that 106 level and starting to come back in. So fail breakout at 106 on Amazon. To me, that's a fade back into the 106.
So you guys know what's good around here because we've talked over and over again about that Apple trade if you're just watching us with Sharif. We're down into the 50s now, so this is a definite big trade here, as I still got to get my layout all set up, ready to go here. But yeah, Apple's pulled back. I just did the work for you. I'm going to wait to see if we can get a little bit lower here on Apple. Look, my chart, again, here's the amazing charting that, you know, this looks like a Christmas tree there. We're going to close this chart and reopen and have it again for you. But we are short right now at 80 on this name. So downside action right now for Apple as this continues to make new moves here and back in. So I'm really happy with this trade on Apple. What was a negative stock for us still is, but hopefully this will right the wrongs that we made earlier here as Apple pulling back. Watch this, close. And I'm gonna, oh God, now I can't find my toolbar. There it is. Now let's reopen it. It should magically reappear here and you'll be able to see all of my trading on Apple. But again, it opens up here and now I have some bad wicks. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait on that. But for right now, nice little downside move here for Apple. There it is right now. Short, short, short. We talked about it, 500 shares at the top. Now let's wait to see where we go down to the bottom, breaking through 50. So quick little $100 here. Let's see if we make a little bit more.
Interesting movement all across the board right now. We were just talking a little bit about what happened this morning as well. I mean, regional banks. Did you touch those at all? Or?
Didn't actually? They didn't move much in the midday show, but we were looking at them.
Yeah, just noting coin. A little bit of downside pressure here, guys. This could be why. Here is Ethereum currently, basically right back to lows. This is a daily chart, so got to go back a week and a half or so. Here's Bitcoin as well. Same story. 27.4, 27.350 coming into play. So these. Support levels being tested currently for crypto markets. But let's talk about coin a little bit. There was this Binance outage, I guess you want to call it, as far as Bitcoin specifically, withdrawals from Binance both late on Sunday and then again on early on this morning that have been resolved. Everything's back to normal. But coin under pressure early on this morning.
Yeah, and then we heard the little tidbit coming out midday about the SEC and the DOJ possibly taking action against Binance and CZ. So that had a bit of a ripple effect in the market. But yeah, coin coming back in, Brendo, I want to say that 56 3/4, 56 1/2, former area of resistance, possible area of support.
Yeah, market coming in pretty heavily right now. Not seeing anything initially here, guys, but downside action in a big way, including on this one, as we saw there, 2% now, or back to it anyways for coin.
Yeah, we just broke 13,000 on the NASDAQ, but Bitcoin is dumping. You said Coinbase, and I thought immediately that was what was in my head. But look at the technical break that just happened on BTC. This is a 15-minute chart. You're trend down. You've broken pretty much everything. You've been stair-stepping the last little bit. So CZ was the last little, I guess Binance was the last leg to shoot a drop there.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, this market is now dumping in. And you see the ES just broke support. The NASDAQ just broke 13.3. We're back beneath that Friday level, support level. Back beneath that, I guess we had it on the 2nd. That's Tuesday. We're back beneath that as well. Coinbase rolls over, but it wasn't at 60, so I ain't got that one. I just turned into Amazon and was late to the party Amazon, and yet it's already back 105.80 into 105.50 and starting to fall continuously. If we get 105, I think that's going to be a good level. But not a good look. Somehow Coinbase is a stronger looking chart than I would have anticipated today. I guess that's how it is. But even it just dropped like a full $2. Yeah, $2 from the high, yet still one of the stronger looking charts. I was short beneath that 57 level, I should say, and you're about to crack that again.
Guys, we just put some damage on this market with that, bless you, with that Apple short. Yeah, good. Well, you got it out. We're now $2.50 in the money right now with Microsoft as that just continues to make new lows right now, and we're still short there. Obviously, we only have 10%, so it should be a little bit more. But I've told you sort of a little bit sometimes some of the shares that we have on board, so it's not bad. And then also with this one as well, Apple, we don't have too many shares left, but it is a nice, well, we still have couple in there, but nice moves down. It just came into 173. So hey, man, we'll ring that register as much as we can. We've already been down here before, and we saw some pretty good resistance earlier. Well, sorry, support earlier on Apple. Can we get a lot lower than this? Of course we can. But this is a name that I'm looking at right now. Apple, nice move here. So short off 174. And again, this is one of those trades. Sharif, we were just talking about this. Sharif could tell you my risk was 5 cents. Or 10 cents on this move. We just cashed out 80 cents. So, I mean, the risk to reward here on Apple seems to be well worth it. And we'll just continue to watch out for this because the work that we did on the NASDAQ, I just said we'd be happy if we came down to 13,000 flat on this name, and that's exactly what just happened there on the NASDAQ. As we are at this high, we've seen it pull back into here. We pulled back before into 13,000, and now we just got that break lower. So yeah, man, it was a good trade here for Apple. And honestly, when I'm just on these names, I don't even look at Coinbase. So for me, it's a hard pass. But it's interesting to see that Bitcoin just broke, would you say 28 there? To the downside.
Oh, a little further.
Did it?
Yeah,
let
me go back.
28.
Let me go back. It was actually 27.6 was the low from last week, and we're at 27.4. So we broke that, and we're trending to the downside. I mean, this is one of those when multiple things break stops.
Yeah.
Like Bitcoin broke a stop, the NASDAQ broke 13.3. You got to favor you got to favor the shorts there. My Binance chart liking me today for some reason. The allergies not so much though.
All right, let's go on to oil here. Just watching CDX take out session lows here to the downside as well. Yeah, still not seeing anything, guys, on this overall market move. Pretty negative, though. Yeah, there's a Biden comment that came across there, but nothing to do with the overall market.
Oh, here.
Yeah, oil was, I mean, chopping around at day highs for most of the midday, still up almost 3% as we saw when we came on there. But not a lot of these oil stocks really participating, although, as we saw on the sector board there, still green on the day, but only just.
Yeah, I was looking at see if there was a catalyst for that big move down. I'll have a read more about that. But yeah, but we looked at this one during the morning show, Brendo. Second good day for oil. Having a look at the daily chart there, that was a reversal candle that came in on the 3rd. Look at that big wick down, small bodied, and it's been 2 newer highs since then. Bit of a range though for a little while. We've been on here on oil, 83 to the high side, maybe 68 to the low side.
Yeah, nice day overall for some of these guys, but I mean, kind of fading off as we head into the pit session close for crude over in Chicago.
I'm gonna say a quick thing about Meta, and then I'll get over to Oxy because I want to comment on Oxy for a second. But Meta, 233 once, twice, thrice, consolidation break. On that last little dump, Meta just held right at that 233 level. I'm going to take a shot going for the longs into 232.5 on Meta. As far as oil goes, Oxy, Berkshire said, well, Warren Buffett said they don't want to own the company. And Oxy rejected the 50 period at 61. It double topped. Whatever. I'm not going to be happy with myself. I should have been short this name, but I was not. I was waiting for a potential breakout above. So it was a good level, but quite frankly, I don't see a trade. Maybe it's a flat bottom break on it, but there's just too many other things that are at key price levels right now that we're going to try and focus on them. I just rolled into NVIDIA. So NVIDIA broke 290. 289.5 was a previous short that I was in, and then it worked back in for $1, then stopped it out. Actually had an accidental long that I didn't want it, decided not to hold it. But I'm now working that short back into the lower high of 290. So I like Meta here if I can get that 33 long. And then, of course, looking at NVIDIA, just shorting into the pop because of that big rejection of 290.
Which hat do you want?
I don't really have a preference, but I mean, if we wanted to.
Let's do a poll.
Yeah.
Want to do a
Let's
poll?
do a poll, because I'm
easy. Set up a poll here quickly. Or maybe Bears versus Bulls.
No, that's easy.
Let's do it for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's easy. Give me
I
2
know what
seconds.
they're going to say, man. I'm going to have the black one.
No, but that's exactly what
the
they're
white
going to
one.
say. Because
So do we want a poll then? I mean, we can just pick a All right, here. Should I take the black hat?
Ask the
Should Sean take the black hat? And that
Because
way,
these guys are just going to give me the white.
Yeah, forget about the poll. We can do something a little more special with the poll right there. Only if Apple is positive. So what?
Apple's.
Apple is, I don't know, it was that recent move. Okay, so unfortunately I have the white hat.
So okay. We got to keep it.
We got to keep it racial right here. Okay.
How does it actually? Wow, that actually fits.
Mine needs to be a little bit
I don't
bigger.
even have to adjust it.
My hat size is 7.5.
Should we get like?
What was the
like
trader's
this?
name again? Who
Parsa.
dropped this? Parsa?
Where'd he go?
What's
You can
up?
say hi if you
What's
want.
up, Parsa?
It's up to you. You don't have to.
I'm trying to fix this up there.
Do you want to? Here, come here.
We need a mic.
Parsa's right here.
First day.
His first day
Hopefully
on
not
the
last.
floor.
What's up?
Obviously,
Thanks for
hopefully
the
not the
hat.
last.
Thanks for the hat.
You're set up.
A live account, so probably not the last.
You're going into simulation, right? Layout's all good?
All good, yeah. Trying to figure it out.
Have you made any trades yet?
Oh yeah, I'm already profitable.
Yeah. Good luck with keeping that streak alive. But good job, man. I like that. Yeah, so what happens is if it's your first day here trading, you do got to set up your account. You got to get ready to rock and roll and then put out some test orders.
I won't
and
actually
then the
wear it
rest
like
is history. I got my Little League hat there from the Little League High Park opening. And of course, we had our stickers on our hats, and my daughter goes, "You got to take it off." So we got that sticker on right there. But, you know, both Neil and I, of course, were very major participants in the Silicon Valley Bank risk department. So as you can see, that's what this hat is right here. So
I might be the best risk officer of all time.
So much there, yes. But I don't know, now it's like the shade is, you kind of got to like.
Yeah, I feel like.
Then they can't see the hat.
I'll do
Wear
it
it like
this.
that.
Is that cool?
Yeah,
I can turn.
I think that's less
You can
than
do the
cool.
side shot. If you put it right
but anyways,
like this.
thanks so much. I don't have much hair to protect up there, but thanks so much for the hats.
You don't need hair.
Again, Parsa.
Hair's over
Best
his
of
seat, that's
luck moving forward, man. And that's, if you did want to become a part of Trader TV Live, of course, that's different than what Parsa's doing, because he is going to be a prop trader on the one of the floors here at Day Trade the World. So if you are interested in that, make sure that you go to daytradetheworld.com, submit your application like Parsa did, and yeah, the rest is history. I don't want to.
Aren't I an 8-year-old boy, John?
I'll put
I
this,
can wear my hat how I want.
I'll put
I
that
can wear
there.
my hat how. You know what's crazy? My daughter has her first T-ball game tonight.
Yes, yes.
And I have a bad feeling because, like, the diamond she's playing at, I'm not even making this up.
Yeah.
I played on that diamond. I had an all-star tryout at that diamond. It's like 2 teams from each house league team were going to the
So
tryout.
you're talking 30 years ago now.
Yeah, and I was pitching BP during the all-star tryout, and the guy who was from my team that was also trying out, and I had no control. I drilled him like 4 times, my own teammate during batting practice.
Yeah, well.
And I just kept, I couldn't,
why are
I
you
couldn't throw a
throwing the
strike.
BP?
I have no idea
Right,
why I was throwing
that's-
batting practice.
To me, that's more the problem.
I'm the last person that should ever throw batting practice. I had 0 control as a pitcher. I just threw hard. And like I felt so bad for him. He's like, man, I'm just trying to hit. And I'm hitting him in the elbow, hit him in the leg a couple times.
Doing a little bit of everything.
So now I'm revisiting that place. It's right by Centennial, actually. But yeah, so it should be fun. Hopefully the field's actually doing well. We're supposed to be talking about, we talked about oil. I guess Tesla's next.
Yeah, let's go on. Here's Tesla still holding on to positive territory, unlike a lot of its counterparts right now, back to the downside. But we did fade that initial gap this morning. We were wondering if we were going to get some follow through after a monster day on Friday. It was just a slow grind all day long. Held that close area anyways from Friday off the open there.
Exactly what I was going to say. That 170 level, Brendo, the area where we closed on Friday, that's the area of support today. We've held it twice. Look for that 172.50 breakout.
Back downside again here, guys, for the overall market a little bit. But yeah, Tesla holding up pretty good right now.
Is it though?
Not down enough.
Is it though? Is it really? Because, I mean, it's 0.5%. So, yes, that's better than the overall market. But that doesn't look like a strong upward trend to me. I had the long off 170 a couple of times. It worked and then it didn't. That's usually how it goes. Like, you go back to the well, reloading off a level. Eventually it breaks. It did get to 72, but now you're holding underneath VWAP, underneath 171. When you zoom out here, let me see if this will... Okay, this is working. Yay, 15-minute chart. Thank you very much. When you zoom out, it's a pretty key breakout that as long as you're holding above 170, it still looks pretty bullish, but that's not what the overall trend has been today. It's lower highs. I think if you retake the 170 downside and the market doesn't hold 13.3, Tesla is going to fill some of that gap in. So that's a level I'd be looking at, that 170. Of course, that 13.3 on the NASDAQ has now become very important. As long as we hold above it, there's some longs out there. I'm kicking myself for not being in Meta. So I was talking about that Meta 233 just now. It just bounced off of it. I think there might be still a chance. If we dip again, maybe we'll get another crack at this off of VWAP, given the way that retracement just went. But a good move there for the overall market bouncing, now going back into the green. This is the one that stood out for me to try to catch a dip. I'm probably going to have to sit here for a while and hope that we come back in to pick up that long.
Tesla, yeah. So we actually... We can revisit our sticky note. We talked about Tesla's strength possibly at 170 there today. So let's have a quick look and see about that 170 level. I know Neil just talked about it. We just bounced clean off of 170. So again, that looks like a pretty good level, man. 170 would have only gone against you 70 cents. I don't think you would have punched out of that. But yeah, if you've taken 170, it's been good about was good there. That went back up to 172.60. So yeah, 170 remains a pretty key level there if you can absorb some of that dip down spot there. I guess it went down to 169.20. So yeah, you're going to have to hold this at least 80 cents against you if you're going to try to defend that 170 level. So that makes sense because it just bounced up now. So I think if you're 1-to-1, you probably want to take some profit right now. So let's just wait to see what happens the rest of the day. I still like Tesla. I love the fact that it curled up here and then broke higher. So it could have easily fell back down, bouncing off that 160, and instead it chose to go back to the upside. We'll see tonight with Lucid earnings, and we'll talk all about that here because Lucid's trying to move around as well, as now the market's making that move back up. That's why you get the heck out of Dodge. We made a lot of money on that move back down on Apple. So although we still have about less than 30%, but about 25% left of our Apple trade, it's still come back in. Lucid's going to be an interesting one for me tomorrow, man. Down 1% today. I look forward to that earnings. And here comes Apple just curling all the way back. I'm going to adjust this, and we'll have a look to see if we want to get more into this one. But Apple's all the way back down. It's a good thing we covered a bunch down there near 173. All right, Amazon, and then we gone.
Yeah, we'll quickly run over this because let's be honest, there's not much to say. Amazon was a bit of a back and forth kind of ping pong match. This market's crazy, just right back up.
Oh, yeah.
Back and forth kind of ping pong match all day long here for Amazon. Big tech in general, outside of a monster move for Google back to day highs right now, hasn't been terribly exciting. But there was some AI-related headlines this morning, if anyone missed it.
Yeah, this one danced with 105 all morning, Brendo. It got to the low side, tried to hold it there. You had that 106 break, and then it was a big retracement after that. Didn't touch this one. It's a bit of an inside day.
They were relatively strong all day on Friday, some of the e-commerce, specifically e-commerce names, but not much to do here for Amazon today.
Not until recently. Like, obviously, it held 05. So it's 05 and 06 on Amazon, really. Like, it dipped 05 early. Like, it showed the range, dipped 05. I mean, after the opening rush, I should say. And then you had a 106 top. There was a breakout very briefly at 106, and that's what I kind of like, that over-under look. It broke 06s, kind of maybe trapped some longs in there as the market was breaking out, and then it does a nice little reversal ducking underneath. It's bouncing off you up now, but lower highs as the market's already back here. Yeah. So market, let me open this up so you can see a little bit better. So the market's back up testing the highs, and you're getting a lower high in Amazon. So while I'm back at 290 on NVIDIA with the half short, that's back toward the top. When I look at Amazon, that's lower high. So if I have to say which one I like better, it's obvious. The one that's showing me as the market gets back to the top, it doesn't want to go anywhere near it, and that's going to be Amazon. So if I go for a reload, I think I'll be more aggressive with an Amazon short here. Despite that news and despite bouncing off of VWAP, this is a good retracement on the NASDAQ, and you're not getting participation here in Amazon's part. Actually now flat on the day. And I see a lot of people talking about FuboTV. I don't know, man. Like, I think of Fubu every single time I see that name there. I don't know why. It's just, I guess it's a generational thing.
I already called it that today once.
It is. I think I do it once. Every time the stock comes up, I think I at least call it Fubu once a day. If Fubo
For us, by us, baby.
For us, by us. It's a great brand. At least it was a great brand. I have no idea what's going on now. But 185, it's a strong name, up 25%. It's really barcoding now near the top. Maybe it has $2 in it. I'm not completely convinced, given the way the volume's tapering off here. But the last time when I was waiting around for VWAP is the last time it gave it. Like, once it bounced here at about 11:30, I started getting bids in, which I've now canceled on VWAP because you're not even getting it. I think there's maybe one more shot if it does pull back, and then we can try to pick some up there. But I don't want to be chasing this at the high if the volume's dying.
Yeah, it's funny that you both sort of said not much has been happening on Amazon today, and I agree with you. It's just I have 124 fills. So, yeah, just a little over trading for sure. But down to 105, took some good longs, man. It broke, so we have that. I told you once a day we have these kind of wicks, and we also have these kinds where we sell the top. So there's a 104.80 out, and there's a 106.12 out as well. So just back and forth, and right now you're stuck in the middle, so it's a hard pass for me on Amazon. We can just continue with something else. So we'll wait for Amazon to do something. It needs to come back down to 105. So you're a little ways away before we look at that, or a 106 short. We had 106 breaking the long, but that never really happened today. So, well, it did happen. We have one trade breaking, but the highest it went was 10. Then we were able to get out. Then we held 10% and got out right there on the 200 break, which is actually pretty fine. So I'm okay with all that. So we'll just move on that one. We do have a nice reload that just happened here on Apple. Apple ripped all the way again, straight up, like straight up in a straight, like straight up in a straight line, I guess so. But again, nice move up for Apple. And we already shorted it, so we'll short again there near 80. We do have Miss Danielle Shea coming on in about a half hour, so it's always great there. I'm going to get another piece out at 61. It's always great when she comes through and we can talk a little bit about Apple earnings or what's been happening, probably the oil patch as well, and then Tesla breaking out a little bit over the last couple of days. We'll have that on mind.
I wonder if
and
she's
then
talking PayPal.
Any kind of, yeah, she'll talk. She likes PayPal.
Yeah.
We do talk about PayPal with her all the time, so that could be another name. All right, so let's go over some trades now. So people want to talk about FuboTV. That's nice. I want to talk about AMD. We will go over to Fubo in a second. AMD, again, looks like it wants to retrace back up to these highs. So Sharif and I, just because it happened when we were there, unfortunately, I don't know why I logged out and back in because it created these wicks again, so I talked about an epic fail on that. But 95.50, I actually wouldn't mind being short up there, but if we can't get short there, what about 95.20? 1 top, 2 top, 3 tops, 4. Let's see if it makes it again, 95.20 or so. I'm not shorting AMD till we get a little greater than 95.
I'll take one.
Here comes Randy on the delivery. Thank you so much. And did Neil just say he wants one?
Well, I didn't know you asked.
Yeah, you never get one in the afternoon.
I don't
so
usually.
I should have asked you.
It actually, my allergies are kicking off, and caffeine does help it. So.
Okay, so there you go. So my bad.
Well, it depends on what it is.
I had some Claritin around here, but someone took it all. I think you took it all, actually.
Don't worry about it. I just don't want to be sneezing all over the place.
All right, Brenda, what up?
Effective.
The PM Randy refill coming through. Kenview, guys, just popping up here, went red to green. Last week's big IPO. Some volume coming back in here. KVUE.
Kenview, which was not moving all day long. I was like, where's the action on this silly thing? And now it wants to break out. Give me a break. Does it have a double top? Oh, no. You got to get to 27 here, I think. And then Kenview gets pretty spicy. Maybe there's a dip buy in there or something like that. But yeah, it might be a bit of a missed opportunity there in Kenview. You got to take those early breaks if you can even get them. I'm still looking for a retrace in Meta. I really don't want to miss that one. I was so late getting over. Once I noticed the 233, it's already gone here. I do not want to chase this move. I'd much rather be a little bit more patient. Now, you were just about to talk about AMD when Randy came. But
oh, it's just a 95.20 I liked, but it's not there.
It's not really there yet either. I do like, we were talking about PayPal earlier today. There's not a heck of a lot when it comes to earnings. Well, there's earnings this week, but in terms of the bigger names, we've been through a lot of them, but we do get PayPal. And this is finally starting to break away. Like you look at this recent high, like 76.5, right back May 1st actually was a high, and then 76.5 is a high today. You're within earshot of making that break, and you're in a nice consolidation level in a strong name which has been running into the earnings. So this is a place that I don't mind long. If I can't get 233 on Meta, maybe a shot at VWAP here on PayPal could be a little something as it runs into earnings after the bell. I want to say thanks. Thank you very much, Randy.
All right, cheers to the AM, or the AM, the PM.
The PM
coffee.
PM coffee. Usually
TV Live mugs. Your refreshing cup of joe. All right, so let's go. So that was a good call. Any other names you guys want to look at? Oh, we were going to do FuboTV. Do I got to pay for shorts or what? Have you noticed that yet?
I wasn't looking short, so I don't think I paid for them. I didn't even check.
184. Okay. What are we looking at? You
have to pay. You got to pay.
Oh, you have to pay for shorts?
Yeah. You want
okay.
them?
No, I don't.
I didn't want to short it either, so I didn't pay for them. So.
No, I don't. I don't. So if anything here on Fubo, another 25% up, man. They broke the bank on earnings, I guess, last week when it bounces up. Wasn't it last week was earnings? Yeah, it was, right? Bouncing off that dollar mark. And if you're going to look at a stock that's at $1, I mean, it's right down here. Barcoding for ages. And then I thought, again, I'm a little bit, let me see. It was Fubo, right? Last week reported, obviously. Yeah, May 5th. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's what sparked all of this. And again, a short interest of 21%. You could, click on the news, find out what's going on right now, why Fubo keeps flying higher, so we can find out all that. And this is what I really like here. Nearly 22% gain in subs. So, okay. So anyways, as it continues to go up, obviously when you're in the streaming business, all you really care about is subs. No one's actually making money streaming except for Netflix. So there's reasons why that name keeps on working. And then, of course, I bought some Disney, being a little more conservative rather than a Fubo. But I mean, if I would have bought Fubo at the same time I bought Disney, we'd be up 80% right now. But for right here, I don't mind Fubo. Let's just look at a daily chart here just to expand it out a little bit. Hold on, I got to do this again because, again, it's been down so much. We don't have to go too far back, I don't think. If you just go past the barcoding there, we've obviously have that move. When you bring it back in, this bottom here is 2, almost exact. So bounced off 2 again, got as high as 240. I mean, that very high is 260. So I would say you're getting pretty close to being exhausted a little bit. It's only been 2 days. So I would say watch out for that $2 level there on Fubo. And then if you want to do anything after that, that's kind of up to you. And I would say the next level, if you give that another 20% off too, that's 240. And that puts you sort of right into where we were back in February. It has tons of room to go. I'm not going to expand it out. There's a lot more room up there. We'll talk about when it gets up there. But yeah, for me, great trade. And I would just say this is the thing. If you're protecting a long that you have, this is why you want to use a 50-period moving average, because you can get out if it breaks back down below 140. You just hope it doesn't happen overnight. And if it does, then when it opens up, hopefully you can get something out. So I would say you stay long this name. It's working. It's only been 2 days. We've seen 3, 4, 5-day moves happen, as part of some of these plays. So I would say stay in FuboTV here and give it back to 140 if you're still long. And a big congratulations. We just got stopped out of Microsoft. How did that even happen? Wow, Microsoft, okay.
Where is it?
That just ripped huge. I don't know.
What in the who now?
Yeah,
$2?
Microsoft. So our out was 308. We only had 10% left, but that was a pretty aggressive move back up to the upside there for Microsoft. I'm going to find out what's up with that.
Well, I know Nvidia just took out 290 again, so
Because
I just
Apple's
got
not
out.
ripping
I just
higher.
got fantastic advice. Apparently, and this is from Melanie Hutchison. If I burn chicken feathers and huff them, I'll never suffer allergies again.
That is true. You didn't know that?
Apparently, I didn't know that.
Wow, Neil.
So you do that, and then I'll never suffer allergies again. If I sacrifice a chicken, then I can hit a curveball. So I think we're basically all we need is chicken. We get chicken every single day at lunch.
That's what I was saying today.
So we're covered. That I've
I
literally
think
never.
we might be good.
I've never heard that. Maybe. That sounds a little strange to me, but I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. My family's West Indian, so I hear all kinds of methods for treating different illnesses that are always pretty fantastic, but that's pretty crazy. I don't even know what to say. Amazon coming back into 106. I'm going to look to reload that one off that 106 top. Again, the market trying to press the highs. It's like essentially Bitcoin rug there. We wicked the bottom and held 13.3. That just means like there's some longs out there that are going to be good. Maybe we get a roll back over and I can pick up some meta, but there's got to be a little something else there that I can see strong. I like that PayPal, I was just talking about it, but it's not really at a level that I want to fill, so I'm not going to jump over to that. Tesla was looking a little bit weak. PSNY, we can look at Polestar. I've seen this a couple of times in the chat. I mean, everything just dropped now, so it breaking 4 even is just following the futures. Heyo, Polestar above the 50 period, breaking out on the daily, seriously? Above 4? That's a good level for the break. It's not doing a ton of volume now, but a close above the 50 period here does give you a chance to maybe rally for a little bit on Polestar. I can't say I automatically love it in front of 4, but you can do worse. The market just dipped in and held 13. You have the exact same wick. It's like everything did the exact same thing. Like there's a NASDAQ dropping through 13. Polestar broke off the highs, wicked underneath support. So if you like the long, I mean, there's a long off $4 here, but you're risking like 6 cents right now. So I understand that that's like, to me, that's the trade. Like these are 98 out and you just go long at like 4 or something and then look for a bit of a retracement play. And if the market takes out the high, maybe this gets helped, I guess, on Polestar. Not a bad move. I think there's probably more interesting names out there, one of which today has been AMD. Could this really break a double top right now?
Should I say yes or no?
It looks, I don't know. It looks like it has a chance to make a run at that high again. On the 15-minute, it was red for an hour, consolidated, and is now bouncing again. So it is holding the top end of the trend here pretty nicely. Let's see what happens with it. But what else were you guys asking about? Another short for Apple? I think anything
I reshorted Microsoft.
Yeah, anything that's at resistance when the market hasn't taken the top yet, I think I'd take a shot. You have some serious outs there. I know I've got one over there in Amazon, so I'm going to try and reload that in front of 106. I did give up on PAC WJP, Gerard. My long was at 7. Once 7 broke, I was done with it, and it's not doing anything. It's got a nice, maybe a decent bounce off the bottom, but I was looking for it to hold 7 even. It did not do so. So, you know, I'll give up on a stock. If the level I want to trade at is gone, I'll move away from it.
All right, yeah, I agree. I mean, Neil just hit it there, and I did the same thing as what he mentioned, and I actually shorted Microsoft. We just got stopped out, and it was like kind of a very, very surprising move. I had no idea Microsoft just ripped up $2 in about 20 minutes, so nice move to the upside there. We're only short now at 12s. But, you know, we just been getting them out at O's. So I'm only giving this to 25. So the high there on Microsoft rate here is 40s, 50s. That's where we shorted. Like to get it back into here, 60s or 70s, before we put on some serious shares. But we'll try it again just to bring it back in, maybe 07, 60s, something like that. But it looks like it is going to try to take out the top. So we're only going to try to... The most we got was 10 cents, and that basically gave me my out. Because I was taking some out for 10 cents, if this goes too much higher than where we are right now, we're going to get out of Microsoft and not play the momentum short when the market just did this move back up. So there it is. So we'll get out of that. Fine. We actually pretty flat on that last reload there. Or not a reload. Well, we did reload it, but it was a brand new position on Microsoft. So there it goes, starting to take out some highs. And then we're 20 cents in the money on Apple right now. Obviously, we wish that we could have a little bit more on this, but there it is into the short. Then we reloaded it just at 70. And since that reload, the best we've gotten is about right here. I'll put another 56. And then I'm going to wait something. We'll let it go out, man. Hopefully it comes down. We have some bids in the 30s right now for that. So we are sponsored by Day Trade the World, so that's good. Short Apple for a pull down, that's what I'm doing right now, so hopefully that can come through. Microsoft's off. A name that potentially Alibaba right there, back up to 83 and looking to go higher as well right now. Alibaba, all right, flat, 83.22s. So again, you know, we just talked about things being back potentially at areas of resistance. Alibaba's not far away, so go short here with an out around that 25. We are red on the day. The NASDAQ just turned green. And the thing about why we want to go short is we're right back to these levels of 13,350. So as long as we don't break above 70, which is that last high, then I feel like the short you want to be in. So yeah, Alibaba's kind of profiling for that. And Microsoft or Apple's coming back down. We'll see if we can get that 50 fill, and then we'll go from there. So far, so good here on all these plays.
Oh, there's one name I totally forgot about Block here. Block actually got above VWAP. Kind of my chart for a quick second, guys. Yeah, Block got above VWAP, came back into that 69, 59 for a short, and pulled back into VWAP. I did get out when it held, and now you're back beneath. So I feel like this could still be relatively, well, it is relatively weak. It's down 1% into a market that's slightly up, but it almost needs to hold back beneath VWAP. So if we break this recent low on that last little market dump, I'll look to engage the short beneath VWAP on Block, just something I want to get back into from a little bit earlier. Amazon, as I mentioned, I'm looking for that 106. If it gets back up here, I did get the breakdown, and then it bounced VWAP there. Let's see if we can't get back into the 106 short up at the highs. A lot of people ask about, so NEO, okay, so I see the question about NEO up here, like have a look at NIO. This stock has been a nothing burger. I want to say it's slowly grinding to the upside. I get pretty excited usually when you have this breaking like pretty significant levels, and it dropped off and now you're going sideways. So I don't like the trade usually for NEO is off the open. Like you're looking for the first move on this, and then in the afternoons, pretty much forget about it. Sometimes BABA moves in the afternoon. NEO lately pretty much never does. You can see that every day, like it'll just grind out, maybe hold the range. This is literally in the last like few minutes and eventually breaks down. I would favor short just given what happened on Friday because you're holding that 830 level, but I'm not sure I see a trade on that one. CNBC is talking about Amazon. They're talking it up. Okay, maybe they are. I like 106. 106, was a fail break earlier, and the NASDAQ's holding the highs. If we break out the top, I know I'm getting out at 106.10 on the break. The high of the day right now is literally 106.10. So when I reload it, that's where my stop is going to be, right above that 106.10, like right there at 11. Carvana hasn't really done much. Snapchat, I see some people talking about. I want to be pretty patient with some of these plays, so I'm like 5 cents away from getting more of Amazon. Snap is strong, but that's not a huge, Yeah, 850, you just kind of rejected 850. It's not a huge move up when you consider like the slow stair grind. When that's happening, usually you want to be buying dips, not taking breaks.
Yeah, I like that Amazon play as well. So we're going to try to get some
filled.
short into that right now, and we'll see. We've been trading that a lot, and I am into BOBA short right now. Again, I just feel like until the market breaks those highs, we kind of got to be in the short. I just feel the risk is to that side. And again, Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every single day. So obviously I'm well aware that there was great earnings from Apple and a few other names coming through today, including PayPal. I don't think they're going to have great earnings, but we'll wait to see what happens with them. And then we had Tesla bouncing off 170. And then Alibaba, I'm still looking at that 83.25 area. So we break that. We're going to get another piece short here. Where did I put the offer? 19s. So again, if we get a 10, which we have now, and then a 19s, that'll give us an average price rate here around 15, hopefully, if my math is correct, which should be pretty easy. And then, so we'll give it 15 cents to the high side, which would be that 83.30 area, which gives us that top right there that was put back in at 11 o'clock. We double touched it again there at 25. So hopefully we can get a short in for Alibaba against that high, and then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we're gone. And we'll take about a 15 to 20 cent hit on Alibaba. But I don't mind the short. Obviously, we're into it a little bit early right there. We'll wait on that one. Apple continues to make moves down, but again, we're just getting out some 50s, so that's still 20 cents in the money, so that's good. And then we started our Amazon again right now, but I'm trying to get more.
NVIDIA.
Trying to get more short rate here anyways for Amazon. So let's see, there we are. Now we are now short against that 16.10 top. If it takes it out, then again, we're gone on that. So that'll be another 20 cent hit. I feel like 20 cents is good for us. If this retraces back down here to that 50 period, that's 20 cents. So expecting to have a little bit of a dump down here, but look at the NASDAQ, it's blasting. It just took out the day's high or came close enough to it. So watch out for the NASDAQ 13,350 in jeopardy. Then we go to that 1364 area. If it takes that, then I think we got to try to find something to punch long.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself for that meta because the one thing I knew I liked was that 33, and we're just a little too slow for it. But I want to show NVIDIA. I'm pulling up my Trade Ideas daily chart just so you get a really clean look. And this is 291 that we're breaking out right now. This thing is gonzo. So you're at fresh highs. Pretty much do not stop, do not pass go. I got out when it took out that 90. Sometimes it's just a reverse, Neil. That is, so let's forget about NVIDIA shorts. If the market's breaking out, NVIDIA wants 2.5% or something along those lines. And it just keeps on doing this. And it did it at 80. It's doing it at 90 now. The first available dip buy. I'm likely to just sort of go for it here off the 291. If we see 290, we'll cross that bridge. AMD, by the way, is not participating. I'm in the same boat with Amazon. Like I'm just going to be out if it breaks that 10. I haven't added in the one last time, but I'll try to take a small overfill. If we get it, we get it. But let's see what happens here because NVIDIA keeps on crushing highs without AMD going, and that was leading the way. It's up 6%. So I would say if we get a reversal in the market, the way NVIDIA is screaming, there might just be an easier opportunity with AMD. And that was the opposite earlier because AMD was a strong one. Now all of a sudden NVIDIA is a little bit stronger. You know what? I'm just going to take the last in on Amazon beneath 106. So I have a 95. I'm going to give it to that 10, 15 cents plus slippage. That'll probably be like 17 cents, something along those lines. But AMD not participating in this last little break to the high of the day with NVIDIA going gangbusters. I know we hate to keep talking about shorts at the top of the market, but unless you're in a long and a good entry, I always hate buying this unless you get a clear out above. Like you need to clear out above on AMD. If we can catch Meta again, fantastic on a dip. Meta 235 might not be that bad now that I look at it. And I want to shout out Max for something. Because I'm pretty sure Max made a comment about Boeing when it has breaking news. Something along the lines of when Boeing gets an order, and gaps to the upside, just fade it every single time. Boeing is beneath VWAP and actually was lower, at one point lower than when the news came out. So this is fading, and Boeing is relatively weak if you want to consider, even the ES is sort of breaking out here and Boeing is stalling here at VWAP. But as with Amazon, I'm going to be taking some out, the first available dip, because this market does have a chance to break out here. At least I think it has a chance to break out here, Sean. And while we haven't broke out on Amazon, if we get back in the 70s, that'll be deserving of taking something.
Oh man, yes, exactly. I averaged into Amazon as well. We're short at 92, and we got some decent shares on board here, so I'm a little bit nervous about that 16.1 area. We do have Alibaba on board as well. That's right back up to this level again. So if these futures don't turn, we're going to get squashed on Baba, and this will be our first trade. And we are now short. I mean, we can talk about our position. We're short at 14s. So yeah, you know, we have to, like I said, we have to be flat at the end of every day. You know, if I did like this position a little bit more and the futures were not at some kind of a level right now, maybe you'd give this up to the day's high and then average it up all the way down in there. But I don't, you know, it's been pretty strong. It's starting to make different highs now, and new high is right aboard right now. So yeah, this looks like we are going to get stopped out. We did try Alibaba. You know, we're going to go a little bit higher than this. We talked about a stop through 30, so it's getting pretty close to that level right now on Alibaba. So just, that's my trade, my position. We'll see where it goes from here. I'm not loving this anymore as the futures are just continuing to march higher. Look, even on a little bit of a pullback, Alibaba's not really doing much, so let's wait to see. Our average price is 15s. So I'm just gonna, I have some bids lower at 02s. That would make sense. 15 cents one way, 15 cents the other way. But it's Amazon right now that is starting to go back to the upside as well. So we try to consistent with what we're doing. But at the same time, this is a high that could easily break. We already have that wick out from a long at 10s. I hope we don't get stopped out now on our short. But it looks like it's trying to go one more time here, Amazon. We'll maybe take one more fill in and around 10. But for right now, it does look like it's trying to go back up to the upside. We're just waiting short. People are going to say, why am I short, or why are we short when the market's up? It's just, it's at a key level, and we keep talking about it. It's this 13,350 right here. It also goes back to April 4th. So it's from the high on Thursday, and it looks like it wants to take it out again, and it also tapped it earlier on the 5th. So, you know, you have a couple days. That's back, May 1st. That's the May 5th high right there. It's all at the same level. It looks like we're trying to take it out here. So we will get stopped out on an aggressive NASDAQ move. What are we supposed to do? It just flushed all the way down there, thinking that maybe the short was in, and then all the way back up, complete V shape there. That's a tough one to trade if you're short.
Yeah, I saw someone asked in the chat, why is Virgin Galactic up 13%? There was an announcement of a. I'm trying to find it. There was an announcement of a launch in Q2. Yeah, so here it goes. Space states that data collected from the Glide flight will be analyzed over the coming weeks and expects to launch the commercial services in Q2. So that's pretty much all it took. Stock's that depressed, right? So they're actually finally going to be, actually sending people up and charging them exorbitant amounts of money, whether or not they'll be profitable doing so. That's a long ways away. And they probably have to figure some other things out to make it economically viable. But that's the reason it's up and holding above $4 today. So good luck for them. I don't see anything too crazy, but I'm with Sean. Anytime you look at a level like this, we've been here before. Sometimes you draw the lines in the chart just to be fun, but these have mattered, like just that 13.3 level. And then above there, that 13.3 Like this channel in here last week, once we were in, it was like a sell zone. And if you break out from there, I think there'll be plenty of places where you can try to work the long if we're going to break out. Like I'm looking at Meta. If we take out that 13.35 as mentioned, Meta should be screaming through a 35 level and breaking out 235 and then go to the upside. Otherwise, I'm waiting for a dip. Amazon will stop out at 10, and this has a chance to break out. But if I was sitting in something in Meta, unless it's long 233, I'd argue if we fail from here, you could be short in front of 235. Now, I'm already in Amazon, which has a chance to go, but you need something to happen. If we're going to barcode at this level, I just find like you'd be over trading if you just stick it in and pick a direction. I just find the 106 level a little bit better on Amazon. But if we do get a break of the highs and we start clearing 235, hey, there's available long for you on META and Facebook there. Is Meagle really going? MEGL? Is that really true? Magic Empire has got the magic. It is going. Oh, my goodness.
What? Another Chinese name?
Wow. No, this is the one from before. You remember?
Yeah, but it is Chinese, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I forget the size of the float, but I'm going to guess it's a couple million, something along those lines. We did talk about this the last time it made a move. Up that 50%. Where are we on the 15-minute? Okay, so we're through that last week. There we go. There's a level. 3 to 350. So there's room to This top is 340, check that. So there's room to that 340 level if you go back to when this kind of had that second lower high after it failed the last breakout. So it's on the break right now. I think there's probably still room to that 340. I think 340 to 350 would be a short zone for me. At least one, if I paid for locates, I have to double check what they are. So yeah, there's still some room for this to go, even though it's all that. I wouldn't chase the high. I'd look for a little bit of a dip buy, and if it can hold 250. And here comes that meta 235. So there's always a chance that could come into a breakout here, as the NASDAQ is getting pretty darn close to sustaining that break.
Yeah, needless to say, man. Wow, okay, big time movements happening here. It looks like we may get stopped out of everything. It's just a matter of time here as the NASDAQ's trying to go. I'm trying to think to myself, you guys tell me, I mean, being in all seriousness, I feel like, okay, we just shorted some more Apple, or what just happened there? No, more Amazon. Okay, Amazon's about to go. So we got BABA, Apple, Amazon. They're all going to be a nightmare if this breaks, but we did get some more Apple right now as well. They're all at these levels, and I'm just thinking to myself, if we break, I don't want to hop right into something because I could really make a mess of a day like today. We have a couple hundred shares of each of these, but which isn't that much, but just saying, like, you know, if I reverse into that many shares and it reverses back down, then I'm going to double the loss, but I don't know if that's going to be the case either. So just look at Google right now. I'm trying to think, like, I know there's AMD is a name that we want in case something does come through.
Oh, it's double top right now.
Is it? See, so I'm saying, like,
top.
if we... No, I don't want it to go short. I'm saying, like,
no breakout.
Breakout long, right? Exactly. So looking at Amazon and Google for the breakout longs, right? That's 108 right there. But again, Google has more tops to go. It has 108.50 tops. So, you know, that's not quite there. If anything, it's probably the names that we're going to get stopped out on because Amazon is right here right now. That's
a triple top.
This will suck because, you know, we've averaged. Again, it's not going to be a big hit, man. We're short at 95, but again, because of the share size and whatnot, it's going to suck to get hit out on this trade, and then we'll have to work it out after that. It just sucks when I'm short, and all I've talked about was trying to go long on Amazon today, and it looks like not a big hit, but a hit that we're going to take nonetheless is going to be on the short, which sucks because I should just get hit on the long. Like when I lose on the long here, it's fine. We don't get out of it all. We still believe in it. It goes back up to the upside. The problem with getting hit on the short is I don't really love this position to begin with, and yet I'm in it because of where we are on this market.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, that kind of sucks. Looks like we're about to get blown out of that one. And then what's a hit? Alibaba, we got out of all that. Again, it took down that 83.30 level. So this is the least of my worries. This was not very many shares. And it was only 15 cents of a hit. So we'll stay in small for Alibaba, but that one is the first sort of casualty of war here for me, Alibaba, as that made a move to the upside. And of course, Apple fading back down just a little bit. We can get something in the 60s, we'll take that.
So I just put a stop for a breakout long. I feel like I have to take this breakout. I don't have to, but there's no way I'm going to miss Carvana. We talked about this Carvana above 11 last week, and I'll get to it in a quick sec. So this is the breakout. Technically, 1085 was that previous high, and it broke it on Friday morning. It went into a potential halt at 1119. It did not halt. It reversed it and went straight to the downside. Down halt, eventually got to $9. I was long at that 11.19, thinking it was about to halt up. I'll go into the long, stop it at 11. If it halts up, next stop 15. Well, it's back at 11 even. It's probably worth a shot shorting this off that 11.20 high, but I am going to take a long break on Car. I don't care where it's come from. That level is too juicy on the daily. I swung at it the first time. I'll swing at it twice, and if it comes back tomorrow, I'll probably take a third shot at it, just given how big a deal it is off the daily. And the over 50% short interest as well. So a lot to look at there. I haven't paid for locates, which I'm probably going to go ahead and do because the ability to fade off this level I do want as well. But that top was ridiculous on Carvana on Friday. So I'm going to go see how expensive those are. Probably not that bad, actually, but I got to go pay for them now.
Some of these names that report, and, you know, I'm hoping for the same kind of a thing from a Palantir. I just want to say Apple is so easy to short compared to everything else. Wow. Like, it's amazing that we got burned and roasted early on Apple because the short, we've only been short today, you know, and right here we're getting paid again on the Apple short. So we're just covering some in the low 60s there, like a whole bunch there at the 200 period, 60, 61, 62. Again, it's not like it's a huge amount of money. It's just we keep reloading it and it keeps on paying off. The only name that didn't pay off for us and isn't about, well, Amazon has, but it might not. And then Alibaba. I don't have that many shares. I'm gonna hold till 50 now. I still have a decent amount of shares, but if it takes down 50, then we're gonna get out 83.52 or so. We'll put that stop order in and watch that go. Amazon, again, the other troubled spot here. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller.
I wish I had a girl that was good.
I would call her for sure. But
What's the last
the
line?
thing is that I also wish that we had just held on to our longs, obviously, because we were long Amazon all day, and we really favored the long until the NASDAQ came scaringly close to that top, and that's where we got busted out on BABA just now, and Microsoft as well. So, you know, a couple shorts paying out. I'm taking some pressure off. We're short 95. We just got to fill at O's. So you're seeing it come in. I also have a fill down here at 92 as well. But, you know, that's for Amazon right now. I may take another out. I don't want to ruin sort of this battle back that we've had today. We made a lot of money on that Apple short when it just tanked there. So I'm trying to sort of do the same thing right now. If Amazon tanks, believe me, with my new rejuvenated 5-minute trading strategy, I don't know, I'm talking myself into it, that, you know, we do have some bottoms to come through here, hopefully on Amazon. We're trying to hold it just a little bit longer. So here it comes back in. Remember, we're short 95, so it just came right back into the money for us, although we took some L's because we got out at O's twice. But, you know, still, hopefully this can come back. Then we can get a 90 fill. So I have a 90 fill as well. If that can fill, then it'll make it 1-to-1 on our outs. But let's see if 90 can come through for Amazon.
Yes, sir. So I did get into Carvana. I paid for the locates, which were a whopping 1/3 of a cent per share, but they were not free. We did pay a little something for them. So that level on Friday, which I should have shorted, we're shorting it today. I'll favor a reverse here. That's 11.19, so I'll go 11.20 just to keep it as a round number. Sometimes that's how it works. I'll be out of this and looking for a break through 11.20. I would suspect that you could run stops here and still Huadunk. But I just like that shot on the daily way too much to not have it. Going back over to AMD, it's still trying that high. So the NASDAQ kind of breaking out. It's trying to go. It doesn't really get past that top. And AMD just hanging off the high there. Thank you very much for the super chat. Ian, Rispetto. What do we think of PayPal? Earnings are after the bell. Best guess based on the news, info, and history that you know of PayPal going into earnings. So I am not here to tell you that I have done any research. This is what PayPal usually does going into earnings. This is a pattern that it typically has. I have not done that work, so I'm not gonna pretend I did. I think that's valuable. Like if you're someone that swings in earnings, of course that's something you got to be doing. That's what Danielle does. Like she can tell you this number of days before earnings, usually when it's strong, it's going to rally into it, that kind of thing. So I'm not going to sit here and say I've done any of that work. All I can tell you is this stock has been bar the hell coding off of like in the 70s.
Bar the hell coding.
It's absurd. Like $70 to 77 over and over and over again. And when I see that, do I really care why it breaks 78? Or do I just care if it breaks out? I just care if it breaks out. So we can read into it all we want from a technical standpoint. Like if it just breaks out here, I'm going to be looking for longs. The same way when Shopify, you know, if you have a pretty significant price level into earnings where you're consolidating and you break out from there, just favor the long. Let the market do the deciding for you. The market decided here that once you were breaking out, it broke 50, that was good. It broke 55, that was good. So let the same thing happen going into PayPal. Again, if you've done that work of what usually happens on earnings and want to make an educated guess going in one way or the other, good for you. That's not really how we work as day traders. We come in after the fact and then have to play the move after. And that's generally speaking for me. If it's breaking out of these ranges, great. If it's not, then I'm not trading it.
Yeah, let's go, guys. Get that money as much as you can. It's funny that you said about Miss Danielle Shea because she's waiting in the wings, about to come through, and I'm sure she'll be talking a little bit about PayPal earnings. And if not, then we do have a little tidbit of information for her because maybe she could talk about PayPal earnings if at all possible. We're reloading the Amazon short. We'll see. You'll be able to know that we're busted out of it if it takes out 106.10. They're the high of the day for Amazon. Well worth it for me, man. We're loaded up here at this level, just looking at the highs of the NASDAQ. I hate going counter trend, so I'm not in love with any of the shorts that we have on. Apple's been printing short, though, which has been all good, and now we hope and pray that Amazon can have a very similar fate to that of Apple. So, all right, without any further ado, I know it's my favorite guest of the week, and I hope it's sure yours as well. Let's go over to the desk with Brendan.
Let's kick off the week with a discussion on options. We'll have a look at a few ideas of what is coming up. Danielle Shea is VP of Options over at Simpler Trading. Back with us again on a Monday to, Danielle, I was kind of thinking as you were coming on here, you know, we're in that kind of weird period where all the big earnings are behind us, but we still have some interesting names, let's be honest, coming up here specifically this week. So let's kind of tee it up. What are we looking at? What are we trying to target here as far as opportunities are concerned? We also have a little bit of inflation data to come as well. Maybe let's start high level here. Give me your thoughts on the overall market, NASDAQ specifically, heading towards Wednesday on that CPI print.
So here's the thing, Brendan, once you get into this time in earnings season, you know, we're at the point where we have a lot of these, you know, former IPO darlings that have just gotten completely destroyed. And so, you know, normally what I look for at this point in earnings season is for the market to pull back as these companies, you know, don't do very well, especially in this overall macroeconomic environment. I mean, companies that are still losing money, I mean, they're just completely hosed. They're not going to be able to get funding and everything else. So when I'm looking at earnings this week, that's kind of my focus. But you know what's been really weird about this month in particular is normally we get a sell in May and then we have these, you know, not great companies reporting earnings and it helps bring the market down, but that's not happening because what we saw with FANG earnings is that they've been really strong. You know, AMD is still on fire, Apple is strong, Microsoft is really strong. So I think it'll be an interesting week. I will tell your traders that what you should look out for this week are tickers that have high short interest and then they end up doing well. So, you know, if you see anything that has a short float over like 10%, and then they have some surprise number, those can make for some really good momentum plays. As far as inflation data goes, you know, we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking, you know, the Fed is kind of done here. So I'm hoping that the inflation data is going to come out and continue with that narrative, but we'll have to see. That will be the next big market catalyst.
Yeah, it's, I mean, let's hope. I mean, at this point, how much more could they possibly do? I was noting before the session started this morning as well, maybe you can chime in on this if you want to. Anyways, Apple, 1.5% going into today's session away from 52-week highs. So as you said, you know, the FANG stocks definitely showing all kinds of strength here. It seems like the NASDAQ wants to do nothing but go straight up. But here we are today, basically dead flat for Apple. It's Google and it's Microsoft that are showing a little more strength.
So what I'm looking for with Apple in particular is I really want to see it get up above those August highs because that, you know, August and September, Apple had that really nice rally post earnings last summer quarter. And that is just a key resistance zone, okay? If we can get up above that zone, I mean, Apple could retest the high. When you look at Microsoft was able to break through the resistance zones from last August, which is just absolutely amazing. The last resistance zone Microsoft has to get up to their retesting of the previous high is going to be the high that it made, you know, last March. And so not last March, but the year before. So when you're looking at the way that these FANG stocks are, you know, continuing to chug along, I mean, they're the ones that they rule the market and they drive so much, you know, the indexes, the core sectors. And so, I mean, those are the stocks that I'm looking at right now to see if they can keep going. Apple's faltering a little bit, Microsoft's a little bit quiet, but then, you know, I'm also looking at Google and Amazon because you know why? we've had all this money coming into Apple and coming into Microsoft and coming into Nvidia. And then you look at Google and Amazon, and they're still pretty depressed compared to, you know, the other ones. And so I would love to see some more money coming in there. And I think that I have the technical setups to back that up. You know, you're starting to see both of these stocks shifting higher. So, you know, I did start getting long Amazon and Google as well. You know, we're seeing a great post earnings move in AMD. So I don't know. I've got my hopes up a little bit this year that sell in May, I'm afraid to say it out loud, that sell in May maybe won't come through because we see that strength in tech.
Yeah.
But I'm still long, and it's May 8th now. So
Sell in May and buy in June. How about that? Might work a little bit better. We have this I/O event. Speaking of Apple, we have this I/O event coming up on Wednesday. Are you a Pixel person or an iPhone person?
So I had an iPhone, you know, forever until my husband showed me the way of the Google Pixel,
right?
And I'm sorry, it's better. So it was very hard to change. It was so hard, and they make it that way on purpose, right?
Yeah. So we're getting apparently we're getting a new 7A on Wednesday, and then the Pixel Fold is apparently a thing and coming on Wednesday as well. So yeah, maybe some more catalysts for Google coming even this week. I wanted to mention PayPal. The guys were talking about it just before we came on there. What do you think going into earnings here?
Let me look at that one. So if you look at PayPal over the last, 12 quarters, we've seen this stock only trade higher, 6 times over the last 12 quarters. If you just look at the last year, it's been a little bit more positive because you have 3 out of the last 4 quarters with PayPal trading higher post earnings. I would like to see this one come back to life, but I'm just not seeing any signs of that. If you look at the EPS numbers from last quarter, they were pretty good. They were estimated to earn 98 cents and they made $1.24. So, you had a pretty nice beat there. But even after that, it gapped up, hit resistance, and then consolidated and traded lower the rest of the quarter. If I'm going to be long a stock going into earnings, I really need to see that the previous quarter at least was a nice beat. I like to see a nice breakaway gap, and I like to see continuation. So, looking at this stock, it's a bit of a toss up here. I will say that it did get up above the 75 price point. So, it could be worse. But it has a $5.64 expected move. So, I think a best case scenario, maybe up into $80, but you have a lot of resistance there too. So with this one, I'm not going to do anything before the report. I'm going to wait and see if we get anything good out of it post report. But I mean, this stock it's not reversing the way that a lot of stocks have reversed off of the lows.
It's amazing how tight the range, just looking at that daily chart there, it's amazing how tight the range has gotten on PayPal. The other two, I guess, bigger names that are coming this week, Airbnb and then Roblox as well, which is always crazy around earnings. Here's Airbnb up 6% today, earnings later in the week.
All right, so that one actually looks really good. So this is kind of what I like to see when I'm looking at an earnings report. So let's see, last quarter, they were estimated to earn 27 cents and they made 48. So very good, it's positive, right? We had a really nice gap up. Last quarter, it gapped up 7.6%. It did come back and fill that gap. So not perfect, but you still had a nice gap up. And then I like the way that we are seeing price up above the moving averages. And we've been in a pretty decent bullish trend since it hit the low at 81. You also have a lot of consolidation there, and I do like that high volume buying coming into the name prior to the report. On this ticker, you have about a $10 expected move, and so trading at 127, you have that resistance up at 130, 140. I mean, it's possible that we get a good report and that breaks higher. Let me go ahead and check the short interest real quick. I have a short float of about 5%. That's not, as good as what I would like to see. Typically, when I have like a high volume buying coming in on a name like this, that's coming up close to those previous highs, I love to see like 10%, 15% short float, because then you can really squeeze those short sellers, but there's a little bit, so there's some there. I like Airbnb. I like the stock. I do own the stock long term. If I was forced to trade this one, I would probably just have to go with Vol Crush, because when you look at the way that it's traded since it IPO'd, half the time on earnings it's up and half the time it's down. In order for me to make a call and say, hey, I got to go long this thing, it's got to be at least like 8 out of 12 times up, and we have to see rising EPS estimates. So I think this one's a bit of a dicey one right here, but I do like the stock, and I think I'm leaning towards the long side.
Holding up better than most, I guess, at this point is a good way to put it for Airbnb. A nice day today, for sure, trying to get above some levels. Let's wrap up with Disney, obviously a big name coming this week. The last time, it was the first report, when Bob Iger comes back, it was a little underwhelming. Wasn't much follow through as far as price action over the next couple of days, even a week or so for Disney. Not much has happened, it feels like, since then for this earnings.
So Disney's another dicey one too. When you look at the technicals though, I'm leaning towards the long side, because I like the way that it's reversed off of the lows. I like the way that you have price up above the moving averages on this daily chart. I do really like, the positive move that it had last quarter. I think Disney right now just has a lot of problems between all the political issues in Florida, and then, place is so expensive, and you've got a high inflationary environment. You have an environment where consumers are really pulling back on their spending. They do have Disney Plus, which is great. But I think that Disney, is not going to do great throughout this overall, slowdown, due to the fact that they do have to rely on, their parks and very expensive things. But all of that being said, I think that they could have a good earnings move afterwards, just because we've seen this with so many of these big companies this quarter, where people expect the report to be bad. And then because it comes in better than feared, it ends up rallying, and the technicals support that. So I would actually look at this for a long, and I do own the stock on this one, and I've been planning on buying more stock in it as well, because this is a perfect example of a bear market buy company. Like, Disneyland is not going anywhere, and even though they might be having a rough time right now, they're going to be back.
It's a great point, and definitely they're not. What are they going to leave Florida? It's like it's crazy. Some of these headlines are just absolutely crazy. Lots to come, definitely this week. Great information as always. Danielle Shea, VP of Options over at Simpler Trading. A pleasure as always. Best of luck this week. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Danielle. As long as we don't say anything positive about Ant-Man, I think we're good, because we know Sean's love for all things Paul
But I did
Rudd.
buy Disney in '98,
So
so
there
I'm
you go.
pretty
So you
happy
like
with
Paul
where it's
Rudd then?
going. Yeah, I absolutely love Paul Rudd. Yeah, the beta. He's actually the world's most handsome man, or whatever that.
Oh,
thing
no,
was.
you're right. No, he did. Yeah, that's actually technically true, because
There
he
you go,
won that.
Neil. See, I know
it's,
more about Paul
what
Rudd
magazine
than-
was it?
Is it Time that does
Is it Time that
those?
does that? It's Time magazine.
My wife hates Paul Rudd, so that's why I'm hating on him as well. And then, so on that note,
shouldn't have won that.
I don't want a superhero to save me that turns into an ant. So that would be the other thing too.
He
I'd
just
rather have
shrinks
Thor.
and grows.
I'd rather have somebody with like a big ass hammer to protect me, or just have the big guy with me as well. But meanwhile, that was great. Look, I love PayPal there. I agree. Has had a hard time getting going there. So we'll have to see what happens with PayPal. But we're trying to snap our fingers and cut Amazon in half. That's not happening. But it is a nice move to the downside. And remember what I told you about Apple? How easy it was to fall down. Well, it never went against us. We just got a great fill down here at 50. And again, so far on this closing show, all we've done for you is short Apple. Huge trades short for Apple. Let's see if it can get even huger. Where's Sharif? I got to ask you. I don't know if that's probably not proper. And then Amazon, we've also shorted right now, and we're kind of not doing the great damage on this name, but it's back into the 50 period at 90 as well. And I told you, we've got this a couple times, so I'm completely fine scalping this, man, and just making that money. And like we talked about it, man, if you take 500, 600, 1,000 shares, whatever, and it can go down 10 cents, and you can do that over and over again. You could have yourself a decent day. So let's just stay in the pocket a little bit here and try to trade names that we agree with. And so far, Amazon short off that high is fine. I'm not in love with it. I like the Apple trade a lot better because Apple right now is tank city down to the downside.
Yeah, the market's still in the pocket, and that's sort of the thing. As long as, if we don't break out, and I'm going to keep going back to this, if we don't break out this high, there's going to be lots of valid shorts. I won't go over Amazon again. Round 2 is not as going as easily as round 1, but you guys saw what the futures did the first time we got to the high, which is a much stronger move to the downside. Now is, to me, in the success zone. Like, until you start breaking and filling in the 80s and 70s, then this isn't really a home run or a winner and a big winner, because we're giving it to that 106.10. And of course, it gets to the 80s. I'm just going to actually bid 81 because why not? I don't know why I was bidding exactly at 80. So we'll see if that one comes to the downside. While that was going on, CVNA, we had it in front of 1120. Now, I have 1127 reverse into the long. It should be a better price, but I'll tell you right now, the stop order I used didn't fill. I had to punch out and reverse manually. So instead of getting like 1122 or 1123, which is available, I ended up with a 27. It goes to 40. It goes to 60. We take a couple legs out. I'm going to look to buy the dip into 11 here. It's just such a big, it's such a big level to double tap. And then on the daily, 1085 is the big level on the daily. I feel like giving it some room to work going into the afternoon, up 27%. Like, really? Like, you know, you don't want to put too many limits on something like a Carvana when it starts to go. So I have taken half out. I am looking for a reload down here in front of 11 even, if we can even catch it. If you want to double check what's going on with AMD, which was super strong, I shouldn't say that, which is super strong, that is all kinds of sideways right now on AMD. It is, what is this range? 10 cents? 15 cents in the last 15 minutes. One way or another, if this market doesn't take out the high, maybe there's just a breakdown at 95. Like it's kind of weird that it's doing this, but when it breaks the channel either direction, it could be good. I just feel it's so close to the high of the day, you'd wait for a high of the day break, whereas a 95 breakdown is definitely in play. Amazon does fill those 81, so you can ring the register on that one. The one long I have has nothing to do with the market. It is a squeeze play alone on Carvana. And I do still have some Tupperware from the morning. I've been getting out pretty much every time it breaks down, I put a trailing stop at the previous consolidation point, so it broke down, put a trail in there. I'm going to get it all out at 75. This one just broke $1 and has been flushing ever since. And yeah, we'll see what happens with Carvana, but I am looking to give it a chance to buy the dip.
All right, we're making a little bit of this right now because there goes Amazon, man, down to the downside. I know Neil's talking about it, but hey, I'm in this name and it's printing for me, so we'll talk more and more about it. As there goes Amazon, holy crap, that was a fantastic fill down there in the 72. So here it comes, downside movement, man. Here comes the market. This is what we talked about, putting on that risk and then finally banking it out again. And it's the same thing happened to me again. I talked about it last week, to stop trading things off the open and wait for levels to actually get going. I can't believe we're almost positive on Apple again. So what was a completely disastrous move, we're almost back positive on Apple. And I just got to put on the same amount of shares that I do late, and then we'd be okay. We talked about putting on 500 shares up here at 173.80. So the fact that it's come back down here, it's a couple $100 there back, and it just filled us right at the 200 period. So again, a trade that we put on thrice for you. You know, I know that's not the way to say that word, obviously, but thrice, yeah, because we only put it on twice. But it was Amazon that we put on thrice. As wow, Amazon right now, okay. Like, honestly, man, just come to the party. Again, we're here, man, Amazon, well-dressed or not, here it comes to the downside. This was well worth the risk. We liked it so much, man, we put it on more than thrice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it was very, very lucky. Not lucky, we punched more shares here thinking, oh my God, what are we doing? Is this even going to go down? But let's reward ourselves as it does fall down. It's really Apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, it also keeps your P&L you know, in the right amount of areas for you, because there's Apple. We just got great fills on that flush. Like, you got to have orders out, man, and we put them out right there at VWAP, so it's a nice flush down there for Apple, as that's come in pretty good here. I just need Amazon to continue to work, man. We got a couple fills there in the 70s, and unfortunately we missed that 68 fill, but my best fill right there is 75, so hopefully it can come back in. I'm going to put a 7, again, like I said, when you have the shares, you can get them out, so that's what I'm doing. trying to scalp it. I don't think the cows are going to come home here today. The NASDAQ has been a nice move to the upside. And although we're bouncing, I sort of called that, maybe 20 to 30 handles down would be pretty good. So we get a huge flush there down to 13 O's, and that resisted, right? Boom, supported it. Right back up to the upside, making out new highs again on that resistance. So do we test it again? I don't think so. So, getting some out on this move down, definitely paying here. So that's what we're going to continue to do. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough out of Amazon. We'll look to get a little bit more, but what's that, 50 period? Maybe we'll get something out at 90. I don't want to, though.
I don't know. To me, I'm just waiting for a VWAP on it. There was decision point at 90, decision point at 75 to 80, and then decision point at VWAP there. That makes some sense to me. Even Meta's starting to come back in here. The only thing not really trying to dip, when outside we talked about AMD, NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA is just holding the line at the top end of the range with a 292. If this gets up, now NVIDIA is huge. All right, NVIDIA is one of the biggest companies in the world now. You've got to consider it that when you're considering the overall market moves. We're not going anywhere unless NVIDIA joins the party. Well, we're not reversing very far in the futures if NVIDIA doesn't join the party. We can go up and break the top if NVIDIA wants to take out that top. HIMS, Naresh asking about that. I have not looked at it. I can take a look in a second. But NVIDIA has been an absolute beast, yet only up 1.7%. AMD's up 6, it's up 1.7. If we do take out the high and trend going into the end of the day, NVIDIA definitely has that chance. Carvana just checking back in on it. It is not. Now it's starting to dip back in. I'm going to back off that bid because I don't need to refill at 11.20. I think 11 even. If we dip back, I'll look for 11 even. If it bounces off that, look for a quick long and then back up to the highs. It's giving you a nice consolidation. Since we flipped long, though, it wicked the high and is pulling back in. So I think it's going to test that 11 even before it does go again. And that's the one I think has the chance to moon. The HIMS, him and hers health, I don't know if there's news on it. You know what? This stock isn't really moving. Yeah, this is really not doing much of anything. Not much of a volume spike there either. Again, it broke down. This is the kind of thing where it does this. If it reclaims the morning high, then I think you've got yourself a dead cat bounce recovery type play. But I thought this was actually moving there after last couple of days. It's been to the upside. Not really anything happening. I don't know. Sometimes we get these names like, yeah, I'll take a look at it. I thought maybe it was breaking back out. Instead, it's bear flagging to the downside.
I like that Carvana trade. I think it's definitely worth looking at something that's moving around. Let's go over to PACW a bit because that's nothing. $6. Okay, yeah, no halts today. That's strange. Yeah, no halts, eh? Yeah, so nice move downside. You could have been part of that. We were just waiting for a halt. Here's the 50 period, just following it all the way down. If you were short, you wouldn't have had to get out until about 6:10 or so when you tried to break back above, which is right there. So nice little short there from 8. Wow. Okay, this thing was up 40% when we started the day. So you're almost flat now on Pac West. I was actually looking at this. I thought 610. I was like, okay, well, you're short from 7 now, but you'd probably be short from like 750, 760 if you hit that. Filled Apple? Okay, good. If that just filled to the downside right there. So right now, PACW looking okay. I'd take the long if we broke 620. But after that, I mean, you still got some bottom breaks there, but it looks like that bottom held. So 589, $6. I mean, this looks pretty decent for me. I don't really see any, I mean, we'll have to wait. Who knows when the news will hit the wire here about any of this stuff. But if it does, that's why we got stops in. It shouldn't halt on you today. It doesn't seem to be overly violent. So far, so good on all these plays right now for Pac West. My eyes are still looking everywhere at the positions that I have. So Ford, what's Ford at right now? Let's go over and have a look at Ford. And shout out to you, Momo, who is always in the chat. 12, okay, so it's nice to see Ford back to 12. But again, it's sort of been doing this all day. Just a quick look at a little bit of a longer chart here. Back on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, I mean, unless for some reason, I was going to say you were long. I mean, I know that they had earnings and everything like that. It's still that 1150 area. If you pull back to that, let's go, come on down, market. If you pull back down into 1150 or so, that could be a decent spot. And also, I know Momo and a lot of you are long for it, so am I. But it's pretty good here at 12, 12.10. Probably looking for at least a little bit of a short into that play right there. So, all right, yeah, I don't mind Ford, but again, stuck in the middle, and that's not something that we'd want to trade. All right, Amazon.
NVIDIA just failed a high.
Okay, good. So that's,
come on, baby.
I'm putting out another bid on Amazon. So we only have about 25% left on this name. As you can see, it's really come back in for us. So Amazon turning out to be a little decent short here, and at least we're cashing out on that for now. Hopefully it pulls back. Apple's also paying us. We're short Apple 76, we're short Amazon at 106, and unfortunately we're still short Alibaba at 83.20, and that's not doing anything, so not much to do.
Beneath 85 again, huh?
Yeah, but it's still
So I was just saying, like, NVIDIA kind of wicked the high and failed it. So if you're short something right now that's big tech, it's not to say that you want NVIDIA to go down, but you kind of want NVIDIA to go down, because I feel like if NVIDIA turns, it can drag the market with it a little bit, and that's what I mean. I got to zoom way in so you can see what just happened at 92. So it broke 92, got to 20s, and is now coming back into the downside. Carvana's not really giving 11. It's at 1130. So CVNA here, which is still New York, Neil. Yeah, I thought after this breakdown it was going to start to give something around 11. It's kind of holding up above that 1120 mark. So I'm going to give it a little bit of time, but there's not an infinite amount of time till the close here. If I'm going to get a shot at a reload, it might just have to be off the 1120 level, which was Friday's top. So if we go all the way back, I'll just use this instead. This is still valid. I mean, I like 11 better, obviously, but 1120 could still be valid. If in the next 5 minutes we don't get a dip even further and we're still consolidating here, I'll just take a look at that that price, 1120, instead of the 11 even reload. Boeing might be worth a short. I mean, how many times are we looking at names, shorting them off the highs when you have something which is weaker than that? And Boeing, look at it reject and just barcode off 198. If this market makes a run at the high and we get a press into VWAP, I can see shorting this one going into the close. For it to have good news and then give it right back up and end up trending even lower, that's a sign of weakness if I ever saw one. But my eyes are absolutely glued to NVIDIA right now. Hopefully we get some Carvana. Amazon, I need 105.60 is my next bid on that one. And I might be pulling the trigger on AMD here. You know, the longer it holds this, like, it's just, how can it really have a 25-cent range? If it breaks down at 25, I'll be the sucker going for the short on it. Like, it's just way too tight of a range. It's got to, it can't just sit here all afternoon. So if we break down on AMD, I'll go for the 95 breakdown. I don't know. I can't see any way it holds a 25 to 30-cent range in the final 30 minutes here. So I'll try to play the break on the bottom of the range. Just risk to reward it. It sets up a little better that way.
That's exactly what we're doing. So if there's any other names you guys want us to look at, please fire them in here. It's only 3:26, so we have about 25 minutes until the imbalances, which come out at 3:50. And of course, for myself, I'm not going to be in, like, well, hopefully I'll just be in lightly. I don't want to say I'm not going to be in anything, but the Apple trade is already pretty light. We got some great fills at the bottom, and I haven't gotten anything else out of Apple. And like Neil, I think that holding a short into the close right now, I know you're looking for AMD to break. I just like the risk reward in the short better than the long. So
I could sit in that trade, to be honest.
That's the thing, just to consider it. So I'm going to try to just hold things a little closer right now on this trade.
Sorry, I want to answer. My chat's not working, and I tried to answer. The tap on OMH is currently $21, but I just keep getting disconnected from our YouTube chat for some reason. I'm not sure why, but OMH is on the NASDAQ. It's halted at $16, indicated open at 21. I was trying to type that in the chat. It wouldn't work. I think I'm back now. Maybe.
It's all good. Yeah, sure. YouTube's been having some problems, I think, lately as well. So that's fine. All right, Alibaba's coming back in. I don't want to take anything out. Let's see if Alibaba falls down. This was a bad trade. Oh, so we talked about giving you guys winners into the close. This was a loser. We took 15 cents worth of a hit on this. But again, there was the conviction on this. We had 3 or 4 times the shares on Amazon than we had on Alibaba. I mean, we haven't traded this in a while. And it just broke. Again, just looking at Alibaba, probably should have waited until the 50s. But that doesn't give me, other than being a 50, there would really be no reason to do that. And I just thought that this could have been a high, and it just wasn't. So when it broke, we got out. Now it's trying to come back in. That's fine. We're still holding 25% of it. Doesn't look like it's going to be a winner. We only lost 15 cents on 75%. So what are we short now? 19. So we need a break of at least 83, probably into here, 82.70 to get the math right. We'll see if we can get a break lower. But I don't I'm not trying to be red or green on all the names we trade. We're just trying to wait for the best opportunities, and then when they're there, we want to make sure that we put those in, right? So that's going to be a look right now. I'm getting from Trade Ideas scanner again here. You can join us on Trade Ideas if you want to with Trader TV 20, get that percentage. But Microsoft might be at some sort of a resistance level it's showing on here. So let's go over to MSFT right now. We actually are up. Microsoft's a big trade for me today. Again, another name that we're green on, not red, Microsoft. At resistance, yeah. I'd say that's pretty good. Shout out to Trade Ideas for that one. It's barcoding with like a lot of names here at the highs one more time. So support would be low, resistance would be accurate. As yes, sir, I don't even need to look at what this market's doing to know that we are printing right now because Amazon hopefully is falling back down a little bit. We're talking about that short. The only trade that we've made on Microsoft, which, I mean, we made a couple, long until it was wrong, and then short, which we're able to make a lot of money on, and then we tried again right now for you guys at 2 o'clock, 2:30, and that didn't work. So we went short. Losing my voice, might have to go get some water. Back into that 308.40. So, yeah, that's a great short. I know me and Neil are looking for it. He's looking for that AMD, but this is also another good one at 309. So if Microsoft can bump up 40 cents, I do like that short. I'm going to go get a water, but I do think that Palantir, people are talking about it. Let me just talk about this before we...
They're before market tomorrow, right?
Before I go. I think they're after. It's either after or before, but definitely not after market tomorrow. We had it, I think we had it listed as... I think it's always at before market. No, it was definitely the last time.
No, it's post-market.
That's what I'm saying. I think they switched.
Yeah, because they're
so we have post May 8th. I'm almost certain. Actually,
usually,
you know what?
They're usually before market, man. They're usually before, I think. Aren't they?
I think I remember driving home and seeing Palantir last time.
Okay.
So anyways, yeah, I don't know, but it doesn't matter regardless. I think they might have had their call the day before. I'm not sure. Palantir's a little tricky, but this is what I'm talking about. If you come to my screen, I can't, this is not a tradable opportunity here, unfortunately. So anybody looking for Palantir, either you're bearish and you take it on the break, or you're bullish and you're probably not in it right now. So I would say hold up on earnings for Palantir. But remember what Danielle said, like names that have been beat up, like a Palantir, that had its day back in meme craziness, could run on any kind of good news from an earnings report. But hey, here comes here comes Amazon back down to 70. We just took a 73, so I'll take a 70 on that one. Gonna go refill the water and be right back.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, you want breakouts, you want things that are moving, you want things that are in new price areas. That's usually what's going to happen and be important, but we'll see with Palantir. I do think sometimes that's a big mover, and you want to give it that credence. Earnings are the time that we generally trade it. I'm sitting at 60, well, in front of 60 for my next out on aforementioned Amazon. AMD, however, has yet to break that 95. It's just a crazy barcode, and I just like that barcode action. CVNA does not seem to want to get any kind of a dip down into 11. It is a nice consolidation. I just want one. I'm giving it a couple more minutes here for one last push because I'd rather see it maybe run some stops and then fill, because it hasn't, like, nobody's trailed out of this thing, I don't think. It's like if you took profit on the way up on the break, fine, but no one's really been stopped out and relieved any pressure, which is generally what I'm looking for to add back into this. So we took profit on the reversal, but it hasn't given me any reason to sort of like jump back in. There's a limited amount of time in the day, and you want an explosive move. Explosive move back up, to me, means break channel up or stop some longs out, kind of trap maybe a few shorts in there, and then go for the long back to the upside. It just hasn't happened yet on this name. So Amazon, that'll work itself out. NVIDIA, which you know is a beast, it's now really rejecting that 92. You know what? Maybe I just want to sit in AMD. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wet the beak by sitting in this AMD inside of the range. That way, if it breaks a high, I can get out. If it breaks 92, I can get out. Get in more, sorry. And then part of the reason for this is the fact that NVIDIA is already rolling over. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to sit inside the range. It's a crazy barcode range. We just got the early look on the imbalances, and it's 142 million to buy. That's not that significant at all. So
You say trillion or?
Trillion, man, can you imagine if it was a T on that bad boy?
On
the Tesla day.
I wonder what the largest we've ever seen is.
Total?
I feel like
I feel like we've seen the overall when it comes out. We've seen over 4 billion, I think. like once or twice.
I thought maybe we saw a 7 at one point.
You know what?
I don't know.
You know what? For some reason, I feel like there's been something that was that big. But
I mean,
again, we're just.
It wouldn't come on a random day. I mean, it
No,
either have to be
like
the end of the month or some
end of
kind of
the
a
quarter.
rebalance or like a big trade alert, like a Tesla joining
Tesla day,
the
I mean.
NASDAQ 100 or the S&P 500. Or, you know what you could see? You could see a lot of those banks, obviously, as the market caps start to change, they could influence some of those rebalances.
Speaking of the banks.
For sure. Yeah, we already looked at PacWest. Not a whole bunch.
Oh, I was
happening.
going to say, JP Morgan. Oh, come on,
is
daily
it?
chart. My daily doesn't
I
want
thought
to
it was
load.
139 previously there.
So it actually rejected. Remember 138? 138 was the gap up price. Come to my chart for a second. I got this crazy wick here, but you can kind of see when it gapped up on over the first, there was 138, gapped above it, held support, then broke down. Now it's got that 138 as resistance again. So this gets pretty spicy if it breaks back above it. But that 138 level has been a brick wall in either direction. Like once it takes it, for a couple of days, that's the resistance. When it broke into the upside, it was support. It's back into being resistance again on JP Morgan, which would set it up for a breakout tomorrow. Or, I mean, obviously you can short in front of that level too. I like key price levels that you can go in either direction. That's what we did with Carvana, which at this point, I guess you can stick a fork in the notion of getting any more shares at 11. The consolidation is on, so if I'm going to add to it, it'll have to be at 30s in front of 1120. That's just, you take what you can get. So I'll try to get some mid-30s, get an average price somewhere in the 30 range, and then just give it to 1120. I think it has a chance to run into the close. Maybe we're playing this tomorrow off of this 11 break still, because 15 is the next big level on Carvana on the daily.
What else is moving around here? Tesla, I mean, I'd love to talk.
How much you want to bet it's between 170 and 171? No breakout on Tesla.
You would lose, but close enough. 171.60. I was going to say the
Oh, it's
same.
above? Okay.
Well, it's 171.60.
Well, that's above.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for your example, but at the same time, if you just spread this out for a 1-minute chart, man, I mean, Tesla is still
That's
doing absolutely nothing. So that's another stock there. Let's look at Lucid earnings. I mean, if you guys want to talk a little bit about a name that I just feel like Danielle Shea, talked about some of these names that have been, relatively low, or not low floats. This doesn't have a low float. This is almost 700 million shares, but short interest, 21%. That could get going. So I would definitely look at this. They're not going to be earning anything. You're not going to see a number right here at a PE ratio, but possibly talking about a little bit of a move back up to the upside if they can sort of extend or confirm some of their deadlines there. We saw the Fisker Ocean the other day finally get rolled out there in Europe. We talked about that, and that got a pretty decent bump for FSR. So, I mean, that's sort of what I'd be looking for Lucid, to see sort of a confirmation on what their plants are saying, what kind of expected delivery date. Are they hitting any of those targets that they're talking about? And here's that bump up in Fisker over the last little while, 450 up to 665, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and Fisker, I believe, is another name that's going to report as well. So that's going to come in. And again, if they have their plant operating and firing out some vehicles right now, then, I could see them maybe guiding a little bit and hitting some of the targets that they were talking about. So for Fisker, although it's going to be brutal, this is just going to keep coming down, down, down. Whoops. Yeah, again, you're not going to be able to see it, so we'll have to go like that. But again, there's the 200 period, which is 750. I believe we could take that out tomorrow. So I'm pretty bullish, actually, on some of these EV names, just because I feel like at some point they're going to have to kitchen sink, and they probably already did that. So let's see if they can actually hit some of the expected metrics that they have out for themselves. So I think that all these names are definitely look out for the upside break in all of them when they report. Fisker, Lucid, Nikola, whoever, all of those names, just because they've been so bad that maybe one quarter they can actually be good. We're getting a bounce in the weed names.
Or just buy OMH. Whatever the heck this thing is. I honestly didn't even look it up, which I probably should have, because everyone was asking for the tap value on it, so I just told you guys what the theoretical auction price on Oh My Home Limited. Oh My Home Limited this is the company. So I don't know, I can't tell you what they do. I can tell you that it's up 230%. It just halted at 2041. And the indicated open is $25. So it has not managed to stay open for more than, you can see here, it's a 3-minute chart, so that'll be 3 minutes. Yeah, crazy. I won't be touching this with a 10-foot pole. Congratulations. Congratulations. If you so happen to be long, oh my home limited. Good move for this. I'm suspecting that it is just going to keep halting and opening and halting and opening over and over again. I mean, checks. What is this, like a recent IPO or something? Like, my daily chart's not really going back, so either it's a recent IPO or something along those lines. But what a crazy move there. So I've reloaded in CVNA. We'll give it to that 11.20. I'm not giving this to 11 even. It started to break out a little bit, so I'm going to give it to that previous breakout price. 11.20 was the high on Friday. AMD seems to want to break the top end of the channel. Again, it is what it is. Like, that's an actual barcode there, so I have my stop above the channel. I'm now short inside of the range with 10 minutes until we get the imbalances.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, it's getting pretty close there. It's BBBY's child. Is that what? I have no idea if that's actually true or not. OMH is Bed Bath & Beyond's child. Okay, does that mean it's going to moon, or does that mean it's going under? I can't really tell what that means for OMH. I'm not sure that's a good thing.
Well, if you're the child of a bankrupt parent,
that's not a good thing.
You would think not, but maybe there's motivation
it's
because you're trying to right what your parents did wrong. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
But OMH. Okay. I mean, you know what? Because I guess it would make sense. Someone's got to fill the void that was Bed Bath & Beyond.
True.
So, you could see that.
Is it because they're a similar company? Like, I don't even know what they do.
Yes, that's what I would guess. That's exactly
my
why.
Home. So. It sounds like it's that kind of like a home.
Yes, home. What'd you say it was?
No, it's one-stop platform for property transactions. So it's more of it's more of like
Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah, nothing to do with Bed Bath & Beyond. It's like for rentals and whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Amazon back into the 60s right now. I mean, this is just a 40-cent win.
And of course, it's Chinese. It's a
Chinese name, yeah. All right. But Bed Bath & Beyond, BBBY. Let's just have a quick look at that. We just took some more profit there on Amazon, so let's do this. I know my guy's not here, but Sharif probably hearing this wherever he's at right now. That's his favorite graphic there, as we'll play that. But there it is, man. Just a few outs here on Amazon. Like, hello. All the way to the downside right now as we continue on that. We have 157 fills. So you could see, now that we're come in, I actually have a bid at 58 here on Amazon. So if we could get that to fill at some point, that would be nice. That's right down in here into the bottom, but we've reloaded this and just taken a bunch out here. I need to do better on holding, so someone could find me on Twitter and let me know how I could hold for a little bit longer. That would be nice. But that's that play. Okay, so nice move down for Amazon. I just get nervous with some of those plays. Back in, we had PayPal coming through tomorrow. Quick little look on that. And again, we only have 8 minutes to go until those imbalances come through, so that's a little bit nervous for me on that. I wish I would have had that Microsoft short 309. That's 50 cents in the money. Miss on that opportunity. But look at PayPal here on the daily chart. You already talked about it, not doing anything, so coiling up. So this kind of reminds you of Tesla at, what was it, between 200 and 210, something like that. It was really coiling up, and then they had that miss, and then it was a disaster. So I'd look out to either take down 66 or get back up there to that high side. We have this option tool here that we could use to find out for PayPal. I'm going to say like 5 or 6% probably.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say like 4.7.
Okay, so I'll go with 5.7 just to see. Okay, so here's PayPal. We're going to find out here. This just gives you, using options, everything like that, what that...
6.5?
There we go. So yeah, between 5 to 6. So both a little light on the prediction there, but there it is, expected move of 6 and a bit %. So let's just look at this math quickly here because I feel like that's about right. You know, you go down 6% on 70, downside, I guess it won't be that much. You won't really get to that 66, but that just kind of brings you back down to 70 or so right there. So I would say that would be easily down to 70 if it misses. And then, if you beat, I think you can get a lot higher than that. So the options seem to be a little light for me on this. I feel like you're gonna move a lot here on PayPal. So let's watch out for that, especially after you mentioned it before, Neil, about Block not having the greatest week last week. So
they're not.
Right. So if you're looking at PayPal, there could be a little something involved with that as well. So let's watch out for Block and PayPal as well as Bitcoin breaking that 27.8 or whatever today as well.
In fairness, when Bitcoin is down, Block tends to suffer from it, and PayPal doesn't usually have that same issue. So I think that can be a little bit of a differentiator, maybe. We'll see what happens. Carvana doesn't want to go, man. AMD breaks at 50. I want to get out. We have like 7 minutes till the imbalances, so relatively tight stops all about. But if this doesn't break, this consolidation pretty darn soon, then we'll just have to take it out wherever it happens to lie. And when you're day trading and you have time, and the clock is against you as well, it doesn't matter that this hasn't broken my stop to the downside if it doesn't get profitable by the end, by 4 o'clock. So we are running out of time for that one to work. I have one last leg in Amazon for VWAP in here, and it just made a right-hand turn, or I guess that's kind of like a left turn, really, if you're going this way. Like it's kind of a left turn back into the upside. So maybe we get VWAP, maybe we don't. Either way, I'm going to cancel. I'll have a tight stop in here going into 350. Hopefully it can continue the trend to the downside, but the market is making a little bit of a bounce back in up. Come on, Carvana, I really want this one to go. Oh, I did end up, Meta never really got down into 233, so I don't have my bid down here again. This is more of a time thing. I think it's a good level, but at 344, if I get picked up, it's probably because there's a sell imbalance that came in and then sort of swipes me. I'd rather just, if it's going to move down there, I'd rather just hold on to shorts than just sit there picking up a long at 350 on Meta. Probably not my cup of tea. So Carvana is making a bit of a move. We need to get some out here because we are running out of time. So that is still CVNA. Last I checked, that's how you're supposed to spell it on the ticker. I want that 1150 for the first out, or at least in front of it. So let me just move mine. Instead of going 49, let's go with a better number like 47. Try to rinse and repeat this one. I don't think necessarily, this is not the move that I really, really wanted on this. Because I felt like if it broke and halted at the open, this was easily getting to like a 15. This is just a nice late day break of the level. If we hold above 11 tomorrow, this could get really spicy and make that bigger move. But we're running out of time for that to happen. I always say this, stocks like this oftentimes can make that late day run. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 4 o'clock breakout that I can do nothing with. But I want this tighter to 11, hopefully tomorrow morning, so we can do this again.
Yeah, we just got another piece. Well, we got a piece out on Alibaba. We're just sort of watching it fall down a little bit here. So, again, the short should have been 50. We couldn't have called that. Honestly, I looked at the charts. I don't know what would have made this thing stop there other than a 50 level. So, I feel bad because we lost on it, and it looks like we will. Our best out is 35, so if it came back into 36 there, we take another fill on that one, just letting it go on that. So yeah, I'm starting to lose my voice here, so it's pretty good that I have a little bit of a day off as we're going to go celebrate Baxter's birthday. So I actually do have a family event today, so we're going to do that. But and then it's back tomorrow with baseball and hockey and gymnastics and everything. So back in the swing of things very, very soon. It never stops, man, for us. I want to give a big shout out to Andrew Harris. Where is that right here? I think that you're right. So shout out to Andrew Harris and, of course, his best bud, Ponzi Fonzie, right there. But not the easiest day, but you guys always make it better. So thank you so much for that. And a big shout out to Bears versus Bulls. That's in that note as well. Thank you, Andrew.
I just saw someone.
What?
No, someone just said their happy birthdays, first of all, to Baxter, which is amazing. It's crazy, like how quickly.
Yeah, I can't believe he's 21 years old already.
Like 21 years old.
I had him here hitting keys at 3 years old, and all my kids have hit keys already.
I remember when you first brought him into the office, and it was like honestly, it's cliche.
You got to bring your daughter in at some point.
Well, it's obviously I commute in, right? So it's a little bit different because I'm coming from Brampton. So one day, if they do when they get the day off school, because I'm not gonna pull her from school to bring in. Usually when I say that, oh yeah, we have a YouTube thing, she's like, oh, is it like Ryan's World?
Yeah,
I'm like, it is absolutely nothing like Ryan's World. Sweetheart.
I wish it was like Ryan's World.
Yeah, Ryan. If you're a parent and you've never seen Ryan's World, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but like this kid just unboxes stuff and like that kind of. And
he has his own brand.
They have their own brand.
They sell in Walmart.
They got games. It's the whole nine. But she loves Ryan's World. She's like, can I do Aaron's World? I'm like, you can. Absolutely, if you want to do an Aaron's World. You just can't do any of these 24-hour challenges that they do, where it's like you cannot leave your room for 24 hours. I'm like, I'm not having any of that. Because I'm not trying to bring you food and all that nonsense. I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. But anyways, I think it's a pretty cool thing. I was going to say something, shoot, it was Baxter, 21, now I lost my train of thought. Ah, damn it. Well, it was congratulations to Baxter, but there was something else I was going to say with regards to his journey. But now I've lost my train of thought. We have 2 minutes till the imbalance. I'm sure it'll come back to me. I have tight stops on both these trades. You're now coming back up to the top, so Amazon's going to threaten that high. I might get stopped out of this before 350 hits, but if that happens, it happens. My stop is not going to move either way. CVNA is starting to go, but not nearly enough. Now it's bothering me. What the hell was I going to say? It doesn't really matter. CVNA is not moving enough, but it is starting to get back into the high. I'm going to take some out without it even breaking the top. It might not get through that high, but I'm going to ring the register anyways because we only got 10 minutes to go before the close. I might just punch out a Tupperware and Amazon right back up to 106 if it breaks those. I have my stop still at that 10 level. I suppose it just wants to hunt those stops up at the high. That's Amazon here, bouncing off VWAP. And it's still beneath 106, so still in the money, but looks like that one might be done as well, that short.
Yeah, we got some out at 86 here as we only have 2 minutes, or less than two, but almost one. We have 1 minute and 5 seconds left. And here's what we're talking about if you guys are wondering, what exactly are these guys talking about? Yeah, it's pretty simple. It is just the market on close imbalances. So right now we're going to see what happens. They're coming back through right now on this play. So we're going to have a quick look here to see what's going on. The size 80,000, 35,000, so on and so forth. This is all going to load up at 350. And, you know, if it comes with Amazon's a buy, let's just say, this is going to shoot up to the upside right now. And if Amazon's a sell, then you're going to have a move to the downside.
You know what you just did to me, right?
And, yeah, but, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're getting locked and loaded right now, 30 seconds to go with this as we wait to see if there's anything else moving around. I mean, Google's at 108. That's a nice high there. Your Carvana's 1150 off 28% up today. Grab up 11%, a name that we didn't look at. AMD up 6 as well. And
Grab's
going
up 11? They reported
I know
something?
nothing about Grab. I don't even know what's going on with that one. All right, 10 seconds more until we get this in balance data, and then we'll see what happens with this market. My stops are all the same. I have a couple bids lower. Hopefully they fill. If not, we'll be ready to get out in 2 and 1. And here they come through. It's in balance time. So Amazon up to 91.92. It looks like that's probably a bid. Nothing else moving too much. Apple's trying to go a little bit, but let's load it up. We don't have any of the big names yet. Okay, Cisco's a buy. I don't see much else on there, man.
FHN, that's the
J&J there on Kenview. Okay,
yeah, nothing. Cisco.
kind of nothing. I'll just manage out of these.
It's a nothing burger.
Nothing burger right here today.
FHN's a buy. That's only interesting because TD pulled out of their deal to buy FHN. So I suppose that was weird because I thought that stock was weak off of that for obvious reasons. What is it doing? What is it doing? It's still load up. Literally, wow. Okay, yeah, that's not terribly exciting on FHN. So let's just navigate away from that because that's a waste of time. We are running out of time. I'm just gonna have to. This is just gonna be a flat trade. This is like really, unless you're not breaking 95. Oh, I got to cancel my stop underneath 95. You're not breaking 95. AMD ends up staying inside the range, so it'll be like an exactly flat trade because I got some at the top, but it doesn't break the bottom. So I guess we worked it inside the range, and that's it. I feel like the same thing's going on with Amazon here. There we go, Amazon. Yeah, it's okay. It's back to the downside, but I'm just going to pop a bid in front of 105.60. Let's see if that one goes all the way back into the downside. Carvana, good thing we got something out there because I feel like this is going to be a tomorrow type of play. Hit enter twice. Tomorrow type of play. You know, I'm going to get more. It's not going. Like if Carvana's 50% short, or actually more than 50% to the short side, when it breaks a major level like that on the daily, part of the problem is it's already gone like $9 to 11. So it probably needs a consolidation stage. Let's call this the consolidation above, and hopefully the break can be tomorrow. But I was looking for a little bit better than like a 20, 30 cent move off the top breaking out on Carvana. Hopefully we can get that tomorrow. If it breaks the high of the day, I will be out of it because we don't have enough time at this particular moment.
We just got a 76 fill there. I'm just going to try to punch out of Alibaba. I just bid 40s. Hopefully it comes back in. If not, takes out 51, and that would suck. So that's been the one loser that we've had on board here into the close. So just to let you guys know, that is one trade that I'm just going to try to get out at 40, take a 20-cent hit, and call it a day. We already got it out at 35 on the first break right there. If we can get something out on the end, we'll do that as well. So that is Alibaba right now. So that's that trade. We've done good on Amazon, man. I mean, this has been a good trade for us today and a good trade into the close. So that's been pretty decent. Let's just check out what Tesla's doing, just to find some names that maybe are moving around a little bit more or less than they usually do. And Tesla's still in the range. I still have this imbalance up. I mean, Boston Scientific is on here. That's pretty good number for a $53 stock, but that's a sell, and it's kind of just bumping up a little bit right here. So I wonder if there's some sort of a index action or something on this name. And then Apple, good out for Apple. 50. We got a 50 bid, so that was good. Now you're trying to take out that level right there as well for Apple. There's Alibaba. Alibaba just came back in. We got a 40 or 41 fill there. I thought we got 40. We got 40. Okay, so must have filled us, and okay, that's fine. I was going to say because it was at 41, but we got a 40 fill, so there it is right there. Good out for us on Alibaba, considering it was almost got taken out at 50 right there at the close. So now we can end that trade, and not great. We'll cancel the stop order because, again, that didn't cancel itself, which it should have. We'll cancel all of our stop orders right now and just hold what we have into the close. It's 25 cents in the money on Amazon. It's about 15 cents in the money on Apple. And that's it, man. No other pending trades. Oh, I have a pending Alibaba bid at 83. We'll cancel that. And then we'll just wait. Tomorrow's going to be a good day for a lot of reasons there. Tuesday, first of all.
PayPal,
that's always a good day.
Palantir.
A little bit PayPal, a little bit of Palantir action, and then hopefully back in. We have already got some levels. We've got this Amazon 106. We've got that AMD 96 or so. We've got Apple up here at 174. Shopify at 65.
I was going to say Shopify.
Yeah, so there's a couple good levels, man, and that's the kind of stuff I think about anyways.
Shopify is just like we don't talk about that one enough the last 3 days. I know we've mentioned it every single day, but that it's been absolutely on beast mode. I'm out of Carvana, by the way. Like it just couldn't seem to sustain that last breakout. So yes, it ends up holding past the break, but no real big movement. I'll hold on to AMD in case it takes out 95, and then we can give a little bit more Tupperware, and we just. Yeah, I just took another leg out. I'm just going to get up right on the bid here. This is not going anywhere. The $1 move already came and went here, but Shopify 65, you just favor the long until it stops out. 3 days in a row, this is basically giving you breakout trades. Like 3 days in a row. Breakout, secondary break, breakout. I mean, you can take a secondary break of the previous high as well. It did a breakout of the previous high and just kept on going. And then tomorrow you get a 65 potential double top break. Until one of these isn't good, it's like, why not just keep going back into the well? So this breaks 65 tomorrow. I got to at least try the long. Like, you got to do it until it stops working. If it does it 3 days in a row and you make money 3 days in a row and you lose on the fourth, so what?
It's fine.
Cost of doing business, baby. So I don't have much of an excuse not to be trying the long breakout on 65. With 4 minutes to go, come on, AMD's trying to break that 95. Let's get down there. Let's see if it can go in. Amazon doesn't seem like it wants to do much of anything. I'm bidding this at 70 just to try to get the last bid out here. Let's see what happens. I'll hold on to it because there's little reason to get out. It's holding in the money. So this and AMD trying to go back in to said downside. Meta's still holding 233, which is flat on the day. Not a heck of a lot of action there. Unless you shorted 235, I suppose.
I really like that Shopify short. We'll see if that can come in tomorrow. We got some more out on PayPal. I'm still waiting for more of a downside push as well, but it doesn't look like that.
Amazon, you meant, right?
Amazon, yeah, sorry. Waiting for a little bit more of a pullback. We got down at 80. But I just want to see what PayPal was doing here into the close, and you can see it's kind of puking. So, yeah, although the daily looks like it's barcoding right now, there's the move down into the close. So if that means something for PayPal, watch out below right now. Nice move down when the market's not really doing anything. So we'll have to wait on that as the market just sort of barcodes itself. Apple, I mean, we're still on the bid everywhere here. Like, hopefully Amazon falls. We just talked about that. And then Apple coming back in as well. Carvana, good trade today. Let's just check out the banks quickly before we go. We didn't look at Western Alliance yet. All these names were up, and away. I'll just keep the imbalances up here in case you guys want to look at them. $27, so now flat on the day for Wall. PACW was up 30-40% again today, and I believe that was back down to flat well, still 4%. You'll take 4%, right? So still 4% up on the day there with some size on the offer. FRCB, again, a pink sheet name. 8 million shares, looking pretty good, but only 30 cents. I don't know, up 14%. I mean, thank you again for the hats behind us.
You know what's up today?
Silicon Valley Bank is also 48 cents.
Why worry about Bed Bath & Beyond's son or daughter, and why not just go along Bed Bath & Beyond? Since it went to the OTC, this has been rallying. I mean, it was 10 cents before. I think it was like 8 or 10 cents when it went down. And it's been going up pretty much every day. There was a consolidation day, or I like when Shreve says an accumulation day, right? Because it's accumulating strength at 10, and then it accumulated strength all day and is now breaking out, up 50%. So things can go to the OTC markets and cash relief rallies. We've talked about this over and over again. So that's another one. We can't trade them because it is less than $1. So we don't really trade. Day Trade the World, we don't trade OTC names unless they trade above $1. AMD here doesn't look like it wants to flush from 95. If it gets back above 95, I will just get out. Amazon, I'm probably just going to pop a bid here in the mid-70s because it doesn't look like it wants those low 70s that I wanted to get, or the 60s that I wanted to get. So I'm just going to be on the bid at 75. I'll take it and ring the register there, but I'll give it a few minutes, not a few minutes, a few seconds for this 95 to resolve itself on AMD. Tupperware I didn't get out, so I'm just going to punch out. It's not really filling the bid. Last position will be AMD as we get the earnings war with only a minute to go.
Yeah, I mean, McKesson, a big name as well. Devon Energy, Suncor, PayPal. I mean, it's all there.
Lucid, of course.
Yeah, Lucid, and everyone wants to know about Palantir. I mean, all I can have is an opinion on it. I think it's going to be beat, and I think it's going to be pretty good there for Palantir. So we'll see. More AI talk to come on that name, but you know, Warner Music. I don't know. Fisker's there.
Fisker, I think, could be
there's names there. I don't know. You know, oil today up 3%. I don't know where it closed exactly, but that could be good. Tesla talking lithium. Okay,
Fisker's 38% short.
Yeah.
I mean,
and look at the move it's had the last couple of days.
Like that right there. Like that's
that right there.
If you're a trader and you're not interested in a name after reports earning that's 35% short, then you're not looking for things that move. I'm not saying it's going to have a big move, but I'm pretty sure it might. Oh, well, damn it. Okay, AMD was just at like 94, 95, so it was breaking down off 95, and then it just tapped 95. So now out, as we only have 10 seconds to go, I'm now flat on the day. So the bell in 8, 7, 6, there she is. She's locked and ready to go in 3, 2, and ring it.
Nice, all right, thank you, Miss Cat, for that. Apple, good trade at the end of the day. We got a 46 out. Other than that, we are now flat. We take that 30-cent winner on Apple and on Amazon to end the day. It was a pretty good day overall, man. A lot of fills, a lot of trades, a lot of good names, short names, long names, depending on what your style was today. Very barcoded day, to be honest with you, especially in the afternoon. I mean, you don't have much movement at all today. It's funny because if you're looking at the market right here, Brendo, I know you're going to do the review, but I mean, you know, this is where we were. 13.3. We're going to close at 13.340. So 10 or 15 handles is all. It looks like it's a nice move up, but it wasn't a crazy day in the grand scheme of things. Maybe the ES did a little bit better, which I didn't look at today, but let's go over to Brendan and get a wrap on these markets.
Unfortunately, it did not.
I wish that was the case, but unfortunately not so much. We did get positive, though, right at the end of the day for the S&P. One of those days when you had to really be looking at individual names, not the overall market. Not a heck of a lot for volatility as far as this board is concerned. 0.05 there for the S&P. The Dow was red. Russell 2000, I should say, also in negative territory. But yeah, it was tech that came back to life. Remember this morning in the pre-market, it was actually the NASDAQ that was the weakest. But here we are with the 100 closing up 0.25, guys.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, the NASDAQ holding up pretty decently there, but not a ton of movement in the afternoon. Still had that same resistance. It's that the resistance on the Q is not going anywhere. Another day and another day that we don't really break away from 13.3.
You've got to open above it or something.
Yes, I think it's exactly true. I think we need to
do.
gap.
It's
we
only
need to gap
30
above
handles,
it.
yeah.
That would be much better.
So let's see, if PayPal beats and Lucid somehow beats, you could get Tesla bumping up a little bit tomorrow. If Apple can somehow figure out 174 on the bid, that could probably get it going. And then Amazon finally taking out 106, and then Google off to the races through 110.
Because NVIDIA's already gone. That's already strong.
Yeah, I sold some last week, but the NASDAQ's bubbling up to break. So it's either going to go one way or the other. I mean, that's not rocket science to predict something like that. But it's 4:02, so thank you so much. If anything does hit the wires over the next couple minutes, we'll be able to look at it. I do see PayPal moving around a little bit now. Nah, not really.
That's like a fat finger, maybe.
Lucid possibly. Let's have a quick look at Lucid.
I think Lucid might be out, actually.
Yeah, we can come over to the screen here. Lucid, I mean, if it's out, we'll get it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, it's out. It's
I don't know. Is it down to 715 there? I don't know. It's not a huge lot of volume.
Revenue miss.
Okay,
plans
so
to
you're seeing
manufacture
something.
over 10,000 vehicles in 2023. Deliveries 1,400 versus an estimate of 1,800. So they missed on deliveries, and their revenue missed by about 50 million, and down 5%. That's actually not a huge move yet, considering the miss on deliveries there, but Again, that's just what I saw. Not a ton of volume after market, but it is trading to the downside.
It's that 10,000 vehicle number, so I don't know what they're expecting. If they're only expecting 8,000 vehicles and they just projected 10, that's better, but they did give out 1,400 versus 1,800 vehicles, so not great. Liquidity still not a concern for them. There it is, 43 cents miss, minus 43 cents versus minus 41, so we'll watch it tomorrow. We still have that, was it 680 or something like that as a bottom for Tesla, or for Lucid? Actually, it's $6 flat. So we'll wait to see if it breaks that right now at 725. All right, let's wrap this guy up. 4:03 right now. Thanks to everybody for watching again here today. What a busy day indeed. As I know Brendan's busy, we're throwing down some interviews, and we're going to be adding to our team hopefully sooner rather than later. But we're looking for the right person, so that's very important for all of us. Of course, shout out to Dan Emmons and everybody that was been in the chat, very active again today. So I want to thank everybody for that. And Bears vs. Bulls again, what a fantastic job. Oh yeah, Brendan, F1.
I want to talk about it.
What say you on that one? I
wanna
was
talk
watching it. I'm like, hey, Marissa, you know which two are going to finish 1-2?
I can't
I know
figure it out.
absolutely
It's
nothing.
so ridiculous. Like, it's just.
Why can't they do something about that? It's like the only
so
team allowed to
pointless.
use aluminum bats in baseball is this team. Oh my God, they're beating everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. to be
Anyway,
honest.
maybe they got
They
it
got it
fixed.
right. They got it right. Everybody
right.
else got
And
it
now they
wrong.
can't lose. It's like
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like having that one player. It's like,
they're like Cal Naughton and Bobby.
Daytona Thunder.
It's like those
the Browns.
years.
You know what I'm
It's like those years that the Yankees spend 10x everyone else, and they're just unbeatable. So.
Yeah.
With
Here's what
aluminum
it is.
bats.
Shout out to Reggie Jackson. All right, let's go, guys. It's going to be a good one. It was fun. All the stars come out to that Miami race, so that was pretty. You see, Tom Cruise was in the pit, and you see Jeff
fake Tom
Bezos.
Cruise.
What the hell's Jeff Bezos doing? Is that guy going to be like a UFC
No.
fighter?
Did
or
you see
something?
Paolo Banchero?
No.
Because remember, I think it
know
was
who he is.
last year.
Yeah.
One of the guys, I forget the dude's name, the reporter. He goes up to him thinking it's Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah, they look alike, I guess.
And so this year, he actually knew
Well,
Paolo's name.
That was in Austin. But
Was it in
yeah,
Austin? Yeah, whatever. Maybe it was a different race, but
All right, let's go.
Same.
Google releasing something.
Palantir is out. FYI.
Great. Talk about trying to end the show here now.
It's up 10%. Heyo.
Ayo, Palantir up to 850 right now. Let's go.
It's moving.
Told you guys Palantir. No, we'll wait to see what happens with Palantir. There's also some news here about Google and Microsoft. Alphabet unveiling its new AI Wednesday. So look at that. Nice move to the upside right now for Palantir. There we go. We talked about it being a face ripper if they got anything right. And there goes Palantir up to 870, 871, 872, 873. But we got to go. It's a nice move up there for Palantir. Yes, sir. Let's see if it can hold that $10 mark or if it can even get there. So let's wrap this. From everybody here at Day Trade the World and Trader TV Live, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow. See you, everybody.